Welcome to our tale this evening. My name is Tarjei and will take on the role of keeper. We shall play a short adventure of Call of Cthulhu 7th edition set in a traditional 1920s setting, titled A Plea for Help. Now let us meet the players and their investigators.
Hi, my name is Katrina, and I will be playing Matilda Bremer Winchester. She is the tender age of 28. She comes from a fine family and society, but sad to say, no money. That inspired her to actually get an education. So she studied and got a degree in history and archaeology. She now is a renowned author, most famously known for a book she now detests called Tomb of Anubis. She's inquisitive, a bit nosy, kind of a know-it-all, but most of all, she is loyal and a very good friend to them she considers her closest.
Hi, I'm Marianne, and I'll be playing Rebecca Davenport, aka Becca. From a very young age, she has followed in her father's footsteps and absorbed all the knowledge that he had to share with her about art, history, sculpture, and rare books. A passion that followed her through both college and university. In the absence of her dear brother Mark, her father groomed her to take over the family business, the Davenport Rare Books and Antiques, where she is co-managing with her father right now. She is 27. She has long brown hair, always up, doesn't really like attention. She's quite shy if she doesn't know you, but she will fight for people, the people she loves. Even her older brother Mark, whatever endeavors he might be mixed up in.
Hello, my name is Örjan, and I will be playing Mark Davenport, brother to Bex. Mark is in his early 30s and is a professional dilettante. He inherited a lot of money from his mother, who died before Bex was born. And with that money, he tries to do whatever he can to kill his démon de midi, his boredom. He maybe dabble a bit in the occult, joining different societies and being up to no good just because he can. And that is Mark.
Well, we begin our tale in Boston in May of 1920. We all have an image of this period, don't we? The decade of the Roaring Twenties had just begun, and Prohibition is a little over 3 months old. Jazz roars out of speakeasies, and people lose their troubles in the Charleston Downs. The occult is all the rage, and mediums ply their trades in parlors and at dinner parties. And the popularity of historiography and archaeology is also high. We begin our story with the players at the Henosis Club. This is a society for the open-minded and the inquisitive, a place for meeting of the minds and lectures. Rebecca is a member because of her expertise in antiques. Matilda, because of her knowledge of archaeology and history. And Mark, well, Mark is rich, bored, and recently got into the occult. So we're all seated at the lunch table on the second story with a window overlooking the terrace.
What are we having for lunch?
Oh, I was looking at the parsnip and potato soup. I thought that looked quite interesting.
Rebecca, dear, be a bit adventurous. We're doing foie gras. What do you say, Mark?
Oh, as a
Foie gras?
starter, I would definitely say the foie gras is most splendid, and they have this wonderful beef sandwich
But
that the
think
chef
about
now.
the poor ducks.
Rebecca,
Who
dear.
gives a duck about the? I mean, there was a pun in there somewhere.
I'm sure.
Yes, but foie gras without the champagne it can be a bit bland.
How dare you, Mark? We will, of course, have the caviar.
Oh, that's a good idea. Although it would be better with a vodka.
True, but we will make do what we have, I'm sure. So, Rebecca, there, caviar and foie gras, it is.
Oh, okay.
For starters, of course.
Whatever
Of
you say,
course.
Matilda.
Very well. The waiter takes down your order, nods, and walks off.
So how are you, Matilda? Are you currently writing?
Oh, I am. I've just started my synopsis on my newest project.
Oh,
I
Yes.
want. Oh yes, it's quite interesting. I want to dig a bit deeper into more Americana history. Roanoke. I think it's an interesting historical mystery. Actually, it was Mark that put me on the trail of it. Well, he
I
said
actually
it.
did something to inspire. Now that's the first.
that
Apparently,
doesn't
I'm
sound
good
like
at
you,
something.
Mark. But I'm
Well-
happy.
Yes, I need to distance myself from a certain body of work. I feel I'm on a completely different writer at the minute.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
That's what I would presume so. I would hope so. And you then, you seemed a bit distressed when I spoke to you earlier.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to bother anyone, but yeah, my father's been away for a little time now, and I don't know. I just worry so. I don't know where he is, and he usually lets me know. I think it's just been on my mind a lot.
He's probably on a spiritual journey in the East Indies or something. Well, I remember this once when I was 6. I think he spent a whole year in China.
But he always used to write and send little gifts to me, and I haven't even he didn't even tell me before he went, which is odd.
Tibet, maybe? They don't have much mail service in Tibet. Or Australia. I hear that's quite interesting nowadays.
Have you spoken with father lately?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't tell me anything. He doesn't. So he's probably okay. For all I know, it's good.
But Rebecca, dear, if you're so concerned, if you need my help in any shape, size, or form, I'm at your disposal, my dear. Of course, I do not
Well-
like seeing you distressed.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, maybe afterwards. I mean, he did leave some. Well, I wouldn't say clues, but his office was a little bit untended before he left, and I don't know if that means anything, but you have such an inquisitive mind, and you might be able to piece together something that I haven't been able to see.
Well,
So maybe if it wouldn't be too much to ask, if you do have time, maybe this afternoon.
of course, my dear, I would set aside time for you any day. If there's anything there that I can shed any light on, I'll be happy to help.
I would appreciate that. Thank
Of
you.
course, my dear, of course.
Mark, this is what you should have done.
Should do what?
Take notes.
I'm sorry, I was a bit caught up in. No, I can't. Nope. Nothing at all. I was absolutely not staring at nobody.
He's still thinking about champagne or vodka.
Yes,
or
yes,
both.
yes, definitely. It's the champagne. It's absolutely the champagne. Yes.
Sure it is.
Well, as you talk, the head butler returns and he leans forward and says, "Excuse me, Miss Davenport and Miss Winchester. There appears to be a runner here with messages for you. He said he tried your home, but you weren't there, so he came here. Do you wish to see the boy?"
Send him in.
"Certainly, miss."
Maybe it's from father.
Indeed.
Oh,
You hear
I do hope so.
Peter patter little feet quickly jumping up the stairs, like 2 stairs at a time, and a young boy, about around maybe 11, sixpence knickers, runs over to you. "Telegram for Miss Davenport and for Miss Winchester."
Miss Davenport.
Winchester.
Davenport,
Thank you.
Winchester. And he holds out his hands, looking his
Mark.
most angelic self.
I grab into my pocket and find a nice silver dollar and gives the boy.
He looks at it like,
So smooth.
No.
and then as he runs off before you have a chance to change your mind. He just takes probably 4 stairs at a time down.
On the nose, on the
Mhm.
nose. Oh dear.
Oh. This is strange.
Interesting, indeed.
I'm sorry, Matilda, but it seems like we're having the same reaction to whatever we received.
Yeah, you know my cousin, Edwin Cassidy.
Oh, yes, he married my good friend Tamsin, right?
Indeed.
That's the same. Yes.
It's a very cryptic message, but she seems to be in some distress. He's asking for my immediate help.
And mine is from Tamsin about her brother. That is very strange.
In peculiar.
Why are they writing both of us about same but different? I don't understand this.
Interesting. He
Do you
would
wanna-
never. Yeah, we'll switch. Oh. Such strange wording, don't you think?
It seems like it's a rush on this, right? That's
Yes.
at least how I'm perceiving
Yeah,
it.
it seems like it's, and he would never ask. Dearest Edwin would never ask for my help if it wasn't dire.
I don't think I've actually met him.
He's a very upstanding chap, a good person.
Well,
We were close
the
growing
best for
up.
Tamsin. Right.
Right. No, I feel that it's a beckoning, it's a call in a way. A bit of a mystery. And Mark, dearest, sweetest Mark,
What's it
you
now?
do love a mystery.
Oh, mystery.
Mystery, Mark.
Why? Oh,
Mystery, Mark. A mystery.
There is a mystery. Please tell me. What
It's
does
aloof.
this telegram say?
Mine is very short and to the point. He needs my help, and he needs it as soon as is available, as soon
Oh.
as I can.
Well,
And Tamsin is the same, but she doesn't mention her husband. She just talks about her brother.
well,
Oh,
now
Edwin's-
it happens to be that I have just acquired a most splendid little sports car from Italy that I would love to drive. I would love to drive you up to wherever this mystery is going on.
It's up in Arkham.
Oh, Arkham, I love the place. It's got this really... Oh, there's a really scenic route going from here, up along the coast, past Salem, and up in Arkham. Most splendid.
I think the only thing that I haven't been there, but there's quite a good school up there, I've heard.
Indeed, I considered it at one point.
Right.
Well,
If
Well,
pardon. I did not mean to interrupt, but a plan is forming in my mind. You see, I think we can get a lot of things accomplished today. We're going to eat this fabulous lunch. We are going to go to you, Rebecca, and look at what your father left behind. And I'm going to get my maid pack a trunk.
Oh,
Most
that's a
splendid.
good idea.
I think it's a good plan.
But Mark, a new car, you say?
And your car, yeah, I brought a white one this time.
It doesn't
White
drive too
one.
fast, does it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Goody.
But you won't drive too fast. Not with precious cargo like Matilda, I mean.
Oh, faster still, Mark. That's what they're made for.
Of course. I think this
Indeed.
one may be reaching 50 miles per hour.
Oh, stop
dear
it, you
God.
tease.
So bring your driving gear. Bring your best driving clothes.
It's perfect. I got
A
new
hat.
gloves. And they're white.
Maybe I'll check if there's a train. There must be a train, right?
Oh, Rebecca.
In a week,
Live a
maybe.
little.
Or maybe tomorrow.
But it's so unsafe.
Live a little.
Life is dangerous. It will kill you in the end, Rebecca.
But it doesn't
dear.
have to be. It doesn't have to be.
As the philosophers say, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we may die.
Memento mori, dear chap.
I hope not. Especially not in a car.
Tomorrow?
Please. I wish you would pay attention more at school. But yes, let's enjoy this fabulous lunch and tally ho.
Well, you finished the most excellent lunch, though, as particularly Rebecca feels a bit worried and her mind is preoccupied and not that much on the food. You phone back to your home and ask them to pack one trunk. Was that what you wanted?
Oh, yes, but it's a trunk for 3 to 4 attires a day because you never know when you need an adventure gear, a ball gear, a library attire, an evening tea attire. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh yeah, I've perfectly understand.
Thank
Well, you and Rebecca retired to her or her father's and her shop. Was Mark goes home to pack a little thing and pick up his brand new car.
And of course, you need your dinner jacket, you need your tweed, you need your driving jacket, gloves, of course the hat, helmet, and goggles.
I love it. I'm into it.
Okay. Well, the two of you come back to the antique shop. You close the door when you left out, and when you get back, you open up, you walk through the shop area, back to the offices. Your father's on the left, and yours on the right, and you enter your father's office. It's been left pretty much just the way he had it when he disappeared.
Yeah,
Left
Rebecca wouldn't dare move things. He had his own system, and she respects it.
The only thing you did was to remove the half drunk cup of coffee that was gathering mold. Well,
yes.
She shows you over to his desk. It's a beautiful mahogany writing desk, and on top of it sits a most peculiar statue. It appears to have, it's about this tall. It's made out of black onyx. It's got, it's vaguely humanoid in a sense. It's got 3 legs, if there are legs sticking out, like a tripod-looking sense. A body, what appears to be a body, and 2 short, stubby arms, which appears to have been broken on both sides. That they maybe have been more, longer at one point or another. And instead of a head, it's got a long, kind of like a spike that tapers off at the end, but it's not sharp. It's a bit round. It's vaguely, it's very strange, with a little curl. And where the face would have been, it's sort of an indenture of a diamond-shaped hole into the statue itself, and it's very smooth. Like the only rough edges you can feel are where the arms used to, what might have been arms used to be, were broken off.
Obviously, I'm gonna throw off my mink fur, and I'm gonna engage my archaeology mind, and I want to roll on that, please.
Go ahead.
But yeah, as you see, this, I haven't really seen this before, this statue. This was just left by him. So I don't know if this is new or if it's been there, but he didn't show it to me before.
Okay, archaeology, give me 2 seconds, gotta find it. Where would I find that on my character sheet?
It's listed alphabetically, but it should be
Number 4.
There we go, 60. I had 61.
Well, you don't recognize it. It's the material, the workmanship. It's workmanship exquisite. But you really don't recognize it. I mean, it might not even be ancient. It might actually be a new product. But no, you absolutely never seen anything like it at all.
Well, then I relay this immediately to Rebecca. It is peculiar, Rebecca, and my extensive knowledge in this field, I've never seen anything quite like it. I cannot say for sure that it's an old piece or newer piece, but there is something about it that's very intriguing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't look like any of the eras from a artistic sculptural way. That this
No, it's not.
It's
It's not phallic. It's not your typical adoration of fertility. It seems almost alien in nature.
Yeah, because it's from a cultural perspective. It's also very yes. It's not known to me. And it must be why Father has it. He was always interested in maybe the more off topic.
Obscure.
Yes,
Sure.
yes.
I
Let's
think,
call that.
can we bring it for the trip? Because I
Well,
know
I-
Arkham has an extensive library. If we have time, I would like to do a bit more digging.
Yes, sure, but maybe we'll take his notes as well then, because there is
Perfect.
this, and I will show her the diary or something.
Yeah, it's 2 pages that's been torn out of a notebook, and it's sort of 2 different signs. One is like sort of like a pentagram looking thing with an eye in the middle, when the other one is a strange sign with a sort of center ring with sort of like almost like 3 half moon looking things stretching out from it, which is colored yellow.
Yeah, I don't know what language this is supposed to be from. Yeah,
Again,
iconography standpoint. Again, it's very odd to me, this whole thing. But yes, I will, because it's you, Matilda. I will. I think it's a good idea. Do you have a bag, or should I pack it?
Oh, if I have a bag, Rebecca, dear, you are adorable.
But
where's your trunk?
Oh, just a second, and I'll go over to my own office, and I'll come back with like a small suitcase. It's right here. I'm all ready to go whenever you are, and whenever Mark is coming to get us.
Are you traveling in that attire?
Yes, I believe so. What, is there something wrong with this? It's just practical and fits every occasion.
Oh dear, you need a driving hat, you need driving goggles, you need a driving coat, and you most definitely need gloves.
Well, I do have. My coat is also in my office, and I do have some gloves there, I believe, and I have a hat. So I think it would be all good.
Luckily, I prepare for all occasions. Don't worry, if anything or any situation should happen in Arkham, I got you, girl. I got you.
Such a good friend.
Thank you.
At this time, Mark, you park
Yes,
your
I
car
am.
in front and walk brazen into the place like you own it.
I think we can actually make room for... Maybe we'll fit 2 of those trunks of yours into the car. Maybe. I say to Beck's friend.
Matilda. Well, I'm sure you can find out of it, Mark.
So
How long
You
has it been
expect me
since
to
you've been
carry
here?
it? Of course I can carry. I'll
Mark?
carry it down. Yes.
Don't carry it.
When was the last time you were here? I can't remember.
I think it was that time I came to borrow that bottle of brandy from Father. Yes, it was that time.
Borrow, he said.
Again?
Oh, nothing, Mark.
Well, it takes a little time, but you manage to get Matilda's trunks into the car. It helps that Rebecca is traveling very light.
It will.
No,
I think
we are
it
not-
will be a.
This was
bit-
packing.
Yeah.
Pushing it down.
No, it's more stacking on top of on top of things, but I believe that the rear seat, where
How
Bax
many
probably will
seats
be
do
sitting.
you have?
Well, usually it would be 2 in the front, 3 in the back, but
So it's
with
me with a
Tilda's-
stash of things on top,
yes,
like peeking out.
yes, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Well,
I got you, girl.
as you know, Arkham is located about 20 miles northeast of Boston, about 5 miles north of Salem, and along the Miskatonic River. And apparently, your brother has selected the scenic coastal route.
But before leaving, I take out my keys and case over to Tilda. Tilda, it happened to be that at home I I found a smallest bottle of whiskey. So I'm wondering, would you mind driving?
Oh, I thought you would never ask. Gloves
Are we-
on.
Are we currently driving, or is it
This is
right
before driving.
Right, okay. Just making sure.
Not that you can protest too much because you really can't move.
What are you saying?
Hold on to your bustier, ladies. We're going for a ride.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm flooring that. Mother. Beep, 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 beep. Boom.
People jumping out of the way, your horse is scared as you run down the streets, and a little while later you're driving up along the coast. It's a fairly beautiful spring day in Massachusetts. It's nice weather. It's not too warm, and but you're glad you're wearing goggles and all the
Sensible driving
speed.
attire.
Yeah.
Yes,
The speed of his very fast car with no top does make it a bit cool.
But there's nothing like a beautiful woman driving a beautiful car.
What were we saying?
Nothing, Bex.
Yeah, they are driving. She's driving fairly fast, but Rebecca, it's. I mean, you're debating would it be worse than Mark would be driving?
I'm
Yeah,
feeling
probably.
a little sick.
but yeah.
Ladies,
Mark is
don't
swinging
vomit.
whiskey, commenting on the way. It takes you about an hour and a half, about that, a little under 2 hours to get up there. Driving the scenic route, waiting for the ferry at one point, passing through Salem. And you pass for the sign that says, "Welcome to Arkham. Population 22,562 approximately." You enter the city town from the south. It appears that it's stretched more or less from south to north, with a half of the city on the north end of Miskatonic River, with the other half, the largest parts, on the south end. Low marshland gives way to what appears to be the more poor part of town. It's more small buildings, strictly cluttered together, narrow streets. It's clear that Arkham is a quaint old town. Its gambled roofs, swaggies and sways over attics belong to houses of wood, dotted on a very hilly landscape. You can see that the older homes have been built more close together, and it's generally a lot of Georgian, Victorian, and Federal-style buildings. Most of them are about 3 stories tall. You follow Peabody Street all the way through town with a big hill on to the right, with buildings situated all over it. On top of it, you can see a massive black spire from a church. Well, and finally arriving at a bridge, one of 3 it prepares along this side of the river, crossing into the north part of town. You've got the address for where you're going. You know that it's situated more or less in the area around downtown of Arkham. North side of the town, it slopes more or less steadily from the river up until cresting at Derby Street. But you're not driving that far. You take a right at the town square and drive down towards your destination, which is 504 East Armitage Street. The 2-story gabled roof building. You know that from lots of that they are living at the second story. You park in front of it. It appears this is more or less just on the outskirts of the nicer part of downtown, sliding over to the more seedy part of East Town. So it's sort of it's not the poor area, but it's not the super nice. It's sort of a in between kind of area. You park the car, Matilda, and you look around, Mark, emptying the rest of your whiskey, probably, or
He probably doesn't have anything left.
Did you enjoy that, Rebecca, dear?
Can you help me out? I'm sorry, but I'm feeling a little car sick. That's what you call it, right? I'm feeling sick. I don't know, but I think it's the car.
This, dear
Grab my
girls,
hand, sweetheart.
this is how a car is supposed to be driven. And those Luddites that says that women shouldn't handle automobiles, to hell with them.
What do they know? They're old fuddy-duddies anyways.
Yeah.
Rebecca dear, breathe through your nose, out your mouth. You will be fine in 2 sec.
You should have a brandy. Maybe I have some in the glove compartment.
Oh, save it for later.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Shall we start our mystery? Figure out what's going on with my cousin and your dear friend.
Yes.
After you, dear ladies.
Do you dare have luggage, like all your luggage, unprotected and unseen? I don't know. That seems a little risky.
It does indeed, and I do like my luggage. Mark.
Do I see any street kids around here?
Yeah, you can see 3 of them playing a catch with a baseball, like a half block over towards the town square.
Young chaps over there.
They look up over to you and run over. There's 3 of them, aged between like 10 to 13, in that sort of general area.
How would
Yes,
you
mister?
How would you young chaps like to earn a shiny silver dollar?
Sure, what we're going to do, mister?
You need to look to it so that nobody steals anything from this car.
Oh, we can do that, sir. We can do that. Of course, mister. Don't worry, you can trust us. And they take up sort of a position around the car.
So, young chaps, I will give you $50 now, since there's 3 of you, and when I come back, I'll give you a whole $1.
Their eyes light up and they grab the $50, 50 cents, and say thank you and take up position around the car.
Mark, next time I can just watch the car.
Well, this is inspiring the young kids to maybe gain a sense of entrepreneurship. They need to see that they can make a pretty penny, and maybe one day these fine chaps will maybe be starting some kind of security firm or something. Who knows? I like to inspire. Apparently, it's something I'm good at.
But it's a little bit of a waste, isn't it? When we can do it ourselves.
Rebecca dear.
Now, the whole concept of capitalism, dear sister, is to keep the cash flowing. If you hold on to the money, it will gain no more value. You need to spend it to make it more valuable.
You are quite good at that.
Matilda is actually grabbing Rebecca's shoulder and pushing her slowly towards the apartment doors, and she's like, Rebecca dear, Mark needs to feel like he has a purpose too. Let the boy think he's contributing.
Well, you come to the apartment door. It's it says the name of Cassidy, Mr. and Mrs. Cassidy, 2nd floor. And you walk up a narrow flight of stairs to a hallway. As soon as you go up, there's a door that says Cassidy on it, and you knock. And it doesn't take long before the door opens, and you recognize your cousin Edwin.
Edwin!
Dear cousin Matilda, welcome. You can see that his right arm is in a sling with a cast on it. Come in. And this must be your friends. You must be Miss Davenport. Welcome. Tamsin is in the living room waiting for you. Come. He lets you in.
Very nice to meet you. I think this is the first time. And
it is. Very nice to meet you. Tamsin has talked so much about you. She holds you such a dear friend, and we're so glad that both of you and all of you could come. This way, please. He leads you into a modest-looking living room. It's fairly spacious with an open kitchenette attached to it. It's got a bookshelf. There's a dining room table. There's a living room table. And you can see Tamsin is sitting in a reclining chair. Her leg is up on a small stool. It's in cast. It's clear that it is broken. she smiles as she sees you, Rebecca, and she sort of moves to get up, to lift her foot.
Oh! Don't get up! Don't go, Tamsin. And I run over.
It's so good to see you again. And so good to finally meet you, Miss Matilda. Again, it's been so long. We did only briefly spoke at the wedding.
Edwin. Sorry, dear. Edwin, your arm?
Oh, yes, it's most unfortunate, terrible story. You see, Tamsin was coming home. We were coming home one day after being shopping, and Tamsin was going up while I was checking the mail. And apparently she surprised a burglar in her home. The ruffian pushed her down the stairs. I mean, she could have been seriously hurt. Luckily, it was only a broken foot. Only. And when he came running down, and I looked up, the bugger hit me. Fortunately, I managed to raise my arm. It must have been some sort of crowbar. Unfortunately, it did break my arm, but rather my arm than my head, right? It's terrible. Fortunately, they didn't get away with anything. We must have surprised them just as they started working.
Yeah, but this ruffian, did you get a good look at him?
Have they
Not
caught
really.
them?
He was wearing a scarf over his face, but it was a man. Around my age, I guess, and I wager he was quite strong and agile built. We did talk to the police, and they promised they'd look into it. But apparently, little can be done unless we're able to recognize them if they can pick them up, which is going to be a bit hard. But like I said, fortunately, he didn't steal anything. They had tossed the place, but we must have been surprised them so quick that they haven't had much chance to get away with anything.
That is distressing to hear.
Most and damn unfortunate as well. I mean, all this business has happened as well. It's quite silent, poor Tamsin and myself. And as you know, I'm trying to take over my uncle's law firm here. And I must admit, I have been having a bit of a problem with the local judge. So broken arm on top of all that is damned inconvenient. But where are my manners? Would any of you like anything to drink? Tea, coffee? Something stronger,
but you shouldn't be drinking it.
Well, you know, prohibition is in effect, but as long as I know what should we say, teetotal, there might be an old bottle of something left in the back of a cupboard.
Oh, that would suit us really, just perfectly splendid.
Edwin, we're our family. What is a little bit of liquid amongst family?
Excellent. Well, why don't you sit down with Tamsin and she explain, and I'll get you some tea and coffee and something a tad stronger.
Edwin, do you need help? I mean,
I'll manage. I'll manage. It's no problems. You had a long journey. You need to rest and have some refreshments.
One question. Are there any books in this apartment? Books or art?
There's a bookshelf you can see, and you can look up. It mostly looks to be old school books, probably from Tamsin's school period, and a lot of law books. I mean, different manuals and stuff like that, and a few handful of novels, like so classical
nothing
novels.
I would really care for at all.
No, and there's not much art. There really isn't.
I just go around the room as obviously snooping and looking at their personal taste.
Yeah, and it's.
I'll just stand in the window smoking a cigarette, very coy.
Okay. And Rebecca, there's a chair sitting next to Tamsin. That's.
Yeah, and I'll just push it as close as I can and just like hold her hand and.
Tamsin Miller Cassidy is she's the same age as Rebecca. She's got a brown hair, which is neck long. She wears it quite plainly. She's got sad brown eyes, and she's short, thin, soft-spoken and kind. And you really got along at school, Rebecca. You really were their friends. You missed her when she moved up to Arkham.
A lot. Now I just have myself to talk with. No.
Hey!
Well, it was so good of you to come, and I am glad that my husband asked you to come as well, Matilda. He did surprise me. I didn't want to make a terrible fuss, but I really am at my wit's end, and it's so great that you brought your brother as well, Tamsin. It's been ages since I've seen him. Well, you must be wondering why I've called or asked you to come here. You see,
Yes.
it's about my brother Henry.
Yes, you did mention that in the
Yeah,
Oh,
it's awful, Rebecca. It's absolutely awful. You see, he was found wandering, absolutely crazed and out of his mind, a night in the streets of Arkham, and he's currently at the Arkham Asylum as a patient.
what?
Yes, it's horrible. I barely got to see him, and he was not himself at all. He was rambling. He was crying, shouting, like complete nervous breakdown or something like that. It's just absolutely horrid, and I just know it has something to do with this new job he was. He told me for a while back that he had taken a new job, but he was very secretive about it, and his demeanor so did change these last weeks. But he refused to tell me anything about it.
That
Just
doesn't seem right. He didn't seem like the type that would have a nervous break. Are you sure that's what
I'm not sure at
happened?
all. I've only been briefly spoke to him, but it's so hard to get around with a leg as well. And but yeah, no, it's kind of he was found. The police thought he's drunk first, but then they couldn't smell any alcohol in him, so they just took him to the asylum. And the doctor said talked about schizophrenia. I don't know, but I do know it has to do something with the work he's been doing. He's been keeping odd hours. He's been very secretive, and I just need to know why. I just need to know what happened to my brother. And I really hope that I'm not asking too much of you. If you could just look into it and try to find out what happened and try to get some answers.
What a
If you don't really,
strange coincidence that this happened to, well, your assailant, the assault on you, and then Henry. They're both
yeah,
of you. Such an unlucky family.
yeah, really, 1920 has not been a good year.
The 20s.
Very clever.
And well, you see, you know my brother's work, right? He generally works with either procuring rare books or authenticating them or and
Yes,
stuff like that.
I think. I mean, I think maybe I met him actually the first time in a store with my father.
Right, and I know he did a lot of dealings with your father up through the years, and he's currently been working out of Arkham, but he travels much. His work takes him all over, even to Europe a lot. But
Oh.
this last job he took, he was very secretive. He didn't talk about it at all. And I know he was working with two other people, which is also a bit unusual. He generally works alone. But yeah,
Must be quite the job if he needed help.
probably. I don't know. But that's the
Did
problem.
he have an
It was
office
also
maybe?
secretive.
Well, if the books are rare enough, they're quite valuable. So maybe that's the secrecy why he
Could
was
be.
keeping it away
Could
from
be.
you. I mean, if there's some real scary types in the book community.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, Rebecca. And I don't want you to take any risks at all. I'm not asking that. But if you could look around and try to find out at least what he was doing or why this happened.
Do you
I mean,
have a name of his colleagues or
no,
maybe
I don't
have
know.
an
He was
address
very
to where
secretive, like
he
I said. He
works?
didn't say anything about who he was working with. But I do know he's worked a lot with all the bookstores here in Arkham, and he probably some of them would know his affairs better, know any colleagues he might have had. He also always carried a small black notebook, where he made well, appointments, wrote down appointments, and personal stuff and stuff like that. Um, it's quite easy to see. It's a cardboard letterbound handmade in Paris. Um, but no, I don't know the name. I didn't meet the other two people he was working with. He just mentioned it briefly. And then the last 2 weeks he was practically impossible to get a hold of. I only saw him once, and he seemed he seemed strange. I don't know. It's just so unlike my brother. You know who he was, so confident and sure in himself. But now he was more nervous actually. Yeah.
Doesn't sound like the man that I met. Mark,
No,
didn't you know him?
Well, briefly, but I think that
thought-
was in the days I used to drink a lot.
Yeah, I
which
guess
means
you don't
before
remember
January
much.
1920.
Well, we are all here to help you, whatever you need. So of course we'll look into it. I mean,
Splendid.
I would always help a dear friend like you, Tamsin. Always. You can trust on that.
Tamsin, dear, we are family. Of course, we will do whatever is necessary to help to figure out what happened to your dear brother.
And
Thank you so
whoever
much.
is a friend of these two is a friend of me, unless I owe you money.
With
I
that,
know there's a heart behind that
Admin-
sentiment.
Admin returns. He gives you tea, coffee, after all, what you wanted, and brings a glass of gin and tonic for everyone who wants one.
Oh, now this is a good gin and tonic. I would almost say as a good tea because it has leaves and it has herbs and yes, I will call this a tea from now on.
Mark, dear, you would call it a vegetable if you could.
I would. If it would make it legal, I would call it a vegetable.
You would
But
call it
it's
a
pretty
vegetable.
much no, it's more of a tea because it has herbs.
Medicinal, you might say.
Definitely
Medicinal indeed.
We're so glad that you're here. Tamsin do appreciate it, and so do I. I wish it could be more help, but with all the business, with the business in such shambles and the arm, I'm quite sidelined, I feel. But she did tell you what it all was about. It's damn peculiar, I tell you, damn peculiar. And this thing with Henry is nothing I would expect from that man. It's so strange.
I don't mean to, Tamsin. I don't mean to be rude, but Edwin, did you notice anything that Tamsin might not be because she might be too close?
Well, he was acting peculiar. I just briefly saw him the last time he came by. Before that, in a month, but the last time I saw him before that again was probably end of March. He seemed quite normal, but no, he seemed distrustworthy. He had that sort of furtive look that I expect from people who are worried. There's something weighing on the mind. The sort of look you sometimes see in defendants when they have people after them. Actually, I'm almost like cautious looking. Yeah, and he struck me as a man worried that something was after him. Someone was after him. He kept looking out the window when he was here. When I followed him out, he checked out both up and down the street before he sprinted off. It did strike me as very strange.
Cousin, dear, where did he stay?
Oh, he had an apartment over in the Merchant Street area. I'll give you the address. Write down the address for you here. It's 267 East Church Street.
And did he have an office?
No, he worked from home. He traveled so
Ah.
much that he didn't really bother paying for a separate office. He worked from home when he was here in Arkham, and then generally traveled worked on the road.
Right. So, we have a brother that's lost his marbles. Sorry, Tamsin.
No, but it's quite accurate. It's
Yeah, and it's quite distressing, and you lot have been attacked, which is quite distressing. I think if we're going to find anything to help us at least figure out what happened to Tamsin's dead brother, we might benefit from looking at the apartment.
not bad. He gave me his spare key. Just one moment. Can you get it, Edwin? Sure. And he walks over and opens up a dresser and come back with the key. Mark, you've been taking in the place. I mean, like I said, there's no like expensive or interesting books, but there are law books and stuff like that are worth money, like textbooks which could be sold. You notice when he opens the drawer to take out the spare key, that there's like a small money clip there, probably like with some emergency cash that's done. It looks like it's been kept there normally. There's also some silverware you can see in like in a shelf with glass door. So yeah, there's some valuables on here that could have been sold for money if people were after it.
So apparently, I say, these robbers weren't here for your valuables.
Well, either that or they just started when we came in, just broken in when we came back home. I mean, if we'd been later, we might have lost everything, but we might
But
not have.
your silverware is quite out in the open, and it's easy to grab.
It's not on the first floor. It's quite the risk, if you ask me. Not that I would know anything about burglary.
You think it might be connected?
Quite possibly.
I think so.
Oh,
It's not unlikely at all. He might have got himself caught up with some ruffians.
Yeah,
Well,
you
if
said
that
you
is true,
said he
really
traded
be
in
careful.
books, in rare books. There is quite a lot of money in unique rares.
And
That's
in
true.
books, indeed, in books.
Yeah, if you get hold of something really rare and valuable, I have.
I mean, he did procure one of Dad's most rare books.
Yeah,
One of them was like, I think it was from the 1600s. It was very
Can-
old, and
can bring in quite a bit of money. So
Yes.
he hasn't asked you to take care of some books for him, or ask you to hold on to something, some manuscripts,
No,
papers,
not at all.
maps, something.
Actually, Tamsin noticed that it was generally quite open with his work, if talking about his work, but he really didn't say anything at all about this, and he didn't ask us to hold on to anything or anything like that. I mean, actually, it's almost been like he generally meets up with us pretty frequently. I mean, whenever he is in Arkham, since he travels a lot, he takes the opportunity when he's home to listen stuff. But last weeks, it's been like we saw him once and briefly. It's almost like he's been avoiding us.
Indeed.
I thought you were very close. That was my impression.
Yeah, no, we are. So it's like I said, it's very strange behavior, and it started about little over 2 weeks ago. And but he first mentioned the new case about a month ago. In the beginning, it was fine, but I don't know.
He might have gotten himself caught up.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
some
Bex,
ruffians, an enemy.
you know, Bex, when I keep a distance for some time,
You owe money.
yeah, or something
No.
worse. I'm definitely up to no good.
Indeed. Right.
Well, he hands the key over to you, Tamsin. Actually, let's hand Tamsin to you, Rebecca. And well, there's the spare key. It's on the third floor apartment.
Well, thank you. And he wouldn't mind, no, that us going through his things.
Darling Rebecca dear, he is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't think they have that in the 1920s, but that's the best I got. It would
Anything
be
that's helpful.
over the cuckoo's nest. Like, it's in his best interest for them and for him that we figured out at least something what might have happened.
Yes, I would really like to help him.
To
We'll-
the antiquary.
We will be respectful of his privacy, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you again for all coming. It's so splendid. I do appreciate it, and if you need any information, anything, help, anything, just do not hesitate to ask.
Yes, of course.
And if you need to see my brother, I've written a little letter you can show at the asylum to the sanitarium to
Get access.
To get access. But I don't know how helpful it will be. But maybe the doctors will tell you something that they won't tell his family.
Indeed.
Well,
Thank you.
well, you finish your drinks and say goodbye. And you exit the house and walk down into the street. You see the car is there. It seems quite untouched, actually. You notice that the three kids are taking up position at either end of the car, a little back from it, and the third one is like standing watch against the wall. And you notice that there's not one single person that is using the sidewalk this side of the road. Everyone is crossing the streets and walking over on the other side of the road and then crossing back onto this side of the road. And everyone comes like within 10 or 20 yards from the car, and like the kids are like really giving the stink eye. They see you come on again. Mister, no one's gotten in the car. It's been perfectly safe. And that's 100%
You have
guaranteed.
done the most perfectly splendid job, young lads, and you deserve this dollar.
Thank you. And mister, if you need anyone to watch your car again, you can always find us here at the play right here at the downtown square.
Who should I call for if I need help?
Excellent. I'm Jack. This is Tom, and the little one there, he's Frankie.
Hello.
Well, so
Right.
if I need help, I know who to call.
That you do, sir. You see, he joins the two others running towards what probably looks like a candy shop or something like that. Well, you decide to head over to to Henry's apartment, but before we go any further, should we have a short little break?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
We have a little break to
Pig
get
break.
some more refreshment and empty some bladders, and we'll be right back.
vi är tillbaka.
Welcome back. We left off with the players having decided to check out Henry's apartment and are now on the way in Davenport's car. You cross over the bridge and go back to the south side of the river and drive towards what is referenced as a merchant district. It's appears to be a narrow block that stretches along the river, about 2 blocks worth of real estate. And this appears to be really where most of this town's shops are. It's almost exclusively different boutiques, shops, whatever you might want to purchase. You find the place easily enough. Apartment 267 East Church Street. It's a 3-story building, and with the entrance on the short side of the building. You park the car and you walk up the 3 flights of stairs, come to the top apartment. You see a little sign that says Miller.
I do feel a little uncomfortable going in, but they did say it was okay, and I guess it is for Henry's sake.
Yeah, and who is he to protest anywhere? He's bonkers.
And we are actually trying to figure out if we can be of any assistance.
Yeah.
We need to do a bit of investigation, Rebecca dear.
Absolutely.
I think we will be forgiven for being a little bit nosy.
That you take out the key and you move to put it into the lock, and as you do, the door slides up, and you can clearly see that the door has been forced open so that the lock part of the frame has been ripped out, and then it's just been closed again. But of course, it won't keep shut since it's been busted open.
My. Interesting.
No, can you go first? What if there's someone in there? I'm listening at the door.
I will get something from the car first, and then I go down to the car and bring my shotgun.
Okay, you listen as you tiptoes down quickly downstairs. You're like, "Don't leave us." And you put your ears to the door, and you can't hear anything. It seems completely quiet, as quiet as a grave. But you can feel your heart racing a little bit. And shortly after, Mark returns with
a shotgun.
Is that really necessary? Oh no! You go. Do your thing, Mark.
When we are talking about burglars, it's better to be safe than sorry. And Second Amendment and all, we have the right to bear weapons.
Go on then, Mark.
I set my foot inside the door with
Yeah,
the
you open
shotgun
the door and
at the ready.
you open the door like that with the shotgun pointing in. You step into the room. And the room you enter is clearly a living room. It's situated towards the front of the building, so you have a row of windows out towards the street. And it's tall enough, the building, that you can see the river over the other buildings in front of it. There's a small coffee table and a chair situated, like you can sit there and look out the window. There's a empty glass on the table, and underneath the table you can see a half bottle of whiskey, half full. The rest of it has got a little sofa and another table. There's a bookshelf here. You see there's a door that leads into the kitchen, and there's a hallway leading down to the right, which ends in one door. And on the right-hand side of that hallway is also a door, and that door is also partly open. It looks to be a bathroom.
Divide and conquer?
Indeed.
Well, you know the living room and the kitchen is empty, so Mark walks down the hallway with a shotgun and opens the last door, which leads into a bedroom. It's fairly large, and it appears that he's converted half the side of the bedroom into sort of a study, work area.
I'm very nosy. I do like a bit of bedroom.
Of course you do.
You never know what you're going to find in a nightstand under the mattress, perhaps. I elegantly claim I think I should investigate the bedroom.
Sure. Go ahead. I'll just stay here. And I'll try and do some spot hidden in the living room.
Okay, go ahead and roll. And Mark, do you take the check out the kitchen, the bathroom?
I check out the kitchen, the bathroom, and there was a
Study
study.
area?
Was that in the?
It's funny. It's part of the bedroom, but he sort of made with a curtain that you can be pulled back and
Yeah,
forth.
okay.
So it's
So
sort of
yeah,
separated off.
I'll do the. I will do the kitchen then. Also searching for some alcohol.
Okay. Yep. Well, the kitchen. Apparently that he doesn't look like sort of person that makes a lot of his own food. He probably eats out a lot. There's not much in the fridge, and what's there is milk that's definitely gone wrong. You find stale bread, and moldy, which is clearly it's been a long time since it's been used. You find a bottle of red wine that hasn't been opened.
Aha, I'll
And
take
you
that.
also find
Confiscate
another
this.
bottle of whiskey that's not been opened.
And I'll
Quite
confiscate
this
this.
for being a dry.
And
Other than that, you see that's like some of the larger like drawers in here in the kitchen doors, kitchen like of the cupboards are open. Like someone opened them and looked in, but haven't bothered to close them.
yeah.
So you get a feel that it's been someone has been rummaging through stuff.
This has been ransacked, and they have left the alcohol.
Are you saying this so loud that I can hear you, or?
Yeah, of course. I'm mostly thinking out loud always.
Alcohol, you said, there, chap?
Can you hear it from the bedroom?
I'm guessing a very long ear.
Especially when it comes to alcohol.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
word alcohol.
Bunny ears.
Other than that, it's you don't find anything of interest to put it like that.
Can I do spot hidden?
Yeah, you go ahead and spot in. Yep.
Oh,
I'm
she was,
already wrong.
yeah, she's before me. I'll roll. Good.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Rebecca, you go through the living room. There's a lot of books in the bookshelves here, but it's you rolled it, and did you get a success or did you not get a success?
If I use luck, I can
Yeah,
get
you
this success.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead and
So
use
I'll
luck.
use. I rolled 70 and I have 65, so I'll burn.
Yeah.
5
You
luck.
use 5% luck. Yeah, 5 luck points and.
Yeah.
Okay, and like I said, there's a bookshelf here with a lot of books, and you can see that clearly there are gaps there. Like if someone has taken away books, you deduce from that there's mostly reference materials that are missing because he's got quite a good index system. It's sort of the after
And
subject.
I know index systems for books. Yeah.
So it looks like someone has been taking out and bring with them reference material for book catalogs, that sort of stuff. List of collections, list of publishing, different publishing houses from. You see that like book, a work containing works from the 1800, the 1900 are there, like reference materials, but older ones from 1600 and the 1500 and 1700. Those 3 books are missing. You find on the coffee table, on the living room table, there's a book open, and with some underlined notes in it. It appears to be a copy of Freud's The Interpretation of Dreaming. You notice that the whiskey glass on standing on the coffee table by the chair facing the window, you can smell that it's been whiskey on it. That's like dried at the bottom of it, but it's old. It's a long time since the glass has been used. It's completely right. Also, the place does look like someone's been through it. Like drawers at the one side are open. There's a small cupboard where the doors are open and the stuff inside it have been moved to one side. It doesn't seem to be anything missing. It's just like been moved to one side. And finally, there's this paper wastebasket by the window facing shelf facing the window. You look at it mostly as like different riff-raffing papers been curled up and thrown away, like notes. You make notes. Yeah, you open up. None of them makes any particular sense. It's sort of like probably a DS for work or something that looks old. But if you do find an envelope, which is addressed to Henry. It's postage locally, and it's from one George William Bishop.
Locally, you said? So
Yeah, from Arkham. From the address is somewhere on Derby Street, but there's no letter inside. Like, the letter is missing. It's just the envelope. So clearly, Henry has probably taken the letter with it, but he's thrown away the envelope. It's postdated early April.
Okay.
Like April the 2nd. And generally, is all that is defined in yeah.
Okay.
And over to you, Matilda, in the bedroom.
All right. I rolled actually an 18, and I have 40.
Ah, well, that's good. It's clear that someone's been in here as well because everything's open. But you also see this clear that item of clothes are missing. Like all the shirts are neatly stacked in a drawer, and there's like you can see that the spaces where there should have been in a row and they're gone. Same with underwear. You can see that there's some empty coat hangers in the closet. So it looks like someone's been packing clothes.
Quickly or organized?
Organized. It's not disheveled, but it's clear that
Like-
it looks like someone else has been going through the stuff afterwards as well. Like
pushing.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't
clearly
look-
whatever they've been looking for, it's not small because they haven't bothered like checking socks or anything. They're just opened the
they're
doors and
just-
seen like it's not there, moved on. It's not there, moved on.
Yeah.
From the area where it works, there's a little like office area. It's clearly been working on something because a lot of like stuff is out, like notebooks are open, pens are about, but there's nothing of interest there. It's like it looks like it's been taken away, whatever he was working on, he's taken away with him from here, and there's left. Well, essentially doesn't really need anymore. And when you're done the kitchen, because you're probably the first one to finish, Mark, you swing by the bathroom, and you clearly see that like there's no razor here, there's no toothbrush, there's no toothpaste. So yeah, some toiletries are clearly missing as well.
So let me be sure. I didn't find anything of significant except it's been packed neatly down and somebody's been through it.
That's all you can find of it. Fine, but it looks like someone has actually moved the bed as well and like looked behind it.
Yeah. Which any sensible would flip the mattress.
Yeah.
Do all that.
So it's like lift it up and let's trust them again. So whatever, if someone's been searching, ransacking the place, looking for something, whatever they're looking for, it's not small. It's not like you could hide it in a fist or like something. It's particularly something of some kind of size because they haven't really bothered to look.
All right, sure, yeah, cool. When I'm done with the study / bedroom, I will mosey on out wherever Rebecca is.
Yeah, she's in the living room.
Rebecca, dear, anything of significance?
Not a lot. I mean, it looks like he's might have taken away a few books, reference books, collection books, from the 15, 16, 1700s. And then there is this envelope addressed to a Mr. George Bishop. I don't know. It's not a name I know.
No, it doesn't ring any bells. But he's packed. I don't know if this is of significance. He's packed down his personal private belongings, like he was going away for something. And then somebody has clearly gone through his stuff afterwards. So either they found what they were looking for or they didn't. And it doesn't seem like it's a small little thing.
No, and also in this apartment, it's clear that they've left anything of quick monetary value. Whiskey, wine, still here.
Don't mind if I do.
So the same as Thompson's.
So
Edwin's house. Because they didn't take anything from them either, did they?
And
not that we know.
Hold on. They were attacked quite recently.
Yes.
And this place, we don't even know when that was ransacked.
Well, no, we don't. All evidence though points to this. To your brother hasn't been here for quite a while, because in the kitchen the bread is moldy and the other food has got quite bad. So it's that.
Oh, well, I want to deduct something. I think they came to my cousin's estate, or his apartment estate was a stretch, after they were there. Because whatever they were looking for, I don't think they found it here. Because there would be no reason for them to go to my cousin's house.
Oh, very good. Very good,
First.
Matilda.
SMRT, my dear Tilda.
Thank you. It's just not just looks. I got an education, don't I? But you found an envelope and you found a name.
Yes, and this strange thing. Well, it's all peculiar, but the thing with this letter is that it's sent from here, from Arkham. So you can see the post stamp.
So it's sent to the brother, or it's sent from someone else?
It's to Henry, but it's from this Mr. Bishop.
All right. Is there something peculiar with the envelope that we need to look closer at? Because that's the only clue we have right now.
Do I recognize the name of this? Mr.
I've given
Bishop?
you the envelope.
Yeah, I'm looking at it closely.
You might have heard the name. You don't know him or anything, but you might have heard the name connected with like society. He's rich. You believe he's.
Yeah,
you believe
that's
he's,
what I'm
like,
thinking.
You've heard, but you know nothing of the man. You know, like I've never
No,
met
but
him.
his name has crossed my.
Yeah, it's like clearly wealthy enough to significant enough that one such as you who travels in that sort of circles extensively will recognize the name, but you know nothing of him.
Okay.
Other than if he lives in Arkham, like that's
Yeah. He lives in Arkham,
But
and
you believe he might actually have an apartment in Boston as well, but you're not sure.
Yeah, but
He reminds me a little of you, actually. This Mr. Bishop, he also likes to waste money on like sending a letter from the same town. Why could have just had an errand boy?
Well, errand boy, although they are quite fast, are not always to be trusted. To find a proper errand boy is like finding a good suit. It has to fit you. It has to fit your
found
purpose.
3 boys on the street 5 minutes after you arrived here.
They were not
I don't
errand
think that
boys.
And Matilda is like, they're at it again.
Mostly arguing just to argue.
Yeah.
I did a spot hidden on the envelope.
Not very good.
It looks like there might be some.
No. I rolled 100.
Well, it's clearly a very special envelope.
It's
clearly some sort of
It's
very unique paper that you probably could track down to the manufacturer. It's like clearly exotic.
I think we should burn it because something magical might happen.
Oh, that might be. Maybe if you rub lemon juice all over it,
Yeah.
it would be some sort of
I mean,
hidden.
you could take a pencil, and I'll take a pencil from my purse. Maybe you can scratch on it. I don't know, like.
I think burning is a good idea.
Sure, if that's what you want to do.
Nobody's gonna stop me. I spot hidden on 100.
Are you planning on burning it?
Yeah.
Is she really that? She's not that stupid.
No, but she thinks she's heard something about a Houdini thing and something called poops and the pigeon comes out.
Give me that envelope. Give me. I'll take it, and I'll put it in my bag.
She's having a moment of well, you can do the pencil
First.
thing. She thinks burning it is because
I think she said it just to calm her down. Obviously, it didn't work. I think she doesn't believe in that.
Yeah, no, that is pretty much everything you find here. It's clear also that he's got a working relationship with all the bookshops owners in Arkham. A lot of receipts and payments and stuff like that stored. He has a quite unique sort of expense filing system. It's pretty much just a shoebox where bills dropped in. So it's like maybe.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it would be a nice.
See, he has adapted my way of accounting.
Yeah, as I said, like
What,
my
1,
exam
2,
pains
3
my
minutes?
ass. Yeah, all right. Bookstores. Good relationship. Any receipts? Anywhere he's been? Has he been buying books? Has any receipt of anything interesting?
Well, you find the receipts actually from J. Will Books store. It lists some like 3 books. It doesn't say which ones they are, but from some of it, it looks like what textbooks would cost. So like it's nothing outrageously expensive, but it's not cheap paperback novels either. But you will figure with the price of 3 academic books.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing like recent. The price recent at all. It's like 3 weeks ago or something like that. A little over that. There's nothing newer. There's nothing from the
Okay.
last couple of weeks.
Then
Maybe
what do you-
this. I can't see the connection at all. But the only lead that I can see is this name.
the Mr. Bishop.
Yes, maybe.
Let me. I just have an idea. If you take your time to travel up to the asylum and speak with this Henry, and if
You have a relationship with him from prior, my
yeah,
dear.
you do.
I wouldn't call it a relationship.
And if
I
you
just
you
look
take
at
the bookshops,
Indeed.
yeah, because that's what you do. Bookshops, of course, Bax, you're good at
I
at
say
the
indeed
bookish
a lot,
things,
but indeed.
but you're not as much of a people person. And me, I'm thinking about trying to find more about this Mr. Bishop. Being me and rich, and we rich people, we like to talk with each other.
Strangely makes sense.
It
Coming
make-
out of your mouth, Mark.
and-
That's unusual.
Very. And Mark,
is.
we need a hotel and we need a suite.
Let me fix that. I know hotels, I know suites, and also
So-
we have a bottle of wine. We have a bottle of brandy.
I'm into all of this. But before we make our ways and do what we need to do separately, we need to have a time to meet. And at what hotel? Because we need supper anyways, and we need to find a point together.
What's
It
the
just
finest
makes
hotel in
sense.
town?
Okay, the finest hotel in town. Let's see. Depends a bit where you want to stay.
Finest hotel.
Finest hotel.
The finest, most expensive lodging in Arkham is undoubtedly the Hotel Miskatonic, which is situated in the campus district near the university.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
definitely
happening.
that. I will fix the suit.
Yeah,
A suit. And a suite.
A suit and a suite.
suit suite.
2 suites.
Two suites.
And no, the suit was a little later.
Oh yeah, 20 years apart. Thereabout.
So, how much time are we going to give to our individual investigation before we head to this lovely hotel and have supper and a debrief?
Dinner at 8.
Perfect.
What time is it now?
It's probably somewhere around 3 o'clock. It's like the early afternoon. You got up here around. You got up in. You get in a little 1 o'clock. You got an early lunch, so you got in around 1:30, and so
All right,
yeah.
then
But
let's say dinner at 7 then.
7 is a good.
7 is a good.
Yes.
Can we have cocktail hour in our suite after, if need be?
Of course.
Wink,
Do you
wink.
really think
Better
they-
than the wing.
oh, excellent. Well, you divide and conquer then, and set forth. We can start with Rebecca and her journey to visit Henry.
Go get my coat on.
You get a taxi ride service that takes you up to Arkham Sanatorium. It's located at the very north edge of town. So further north than you were when you visited Tamsin's place as well. It's on 225 East Derby Street. The taxi drives up, and when it approaches, you see that this is what must have one point in time been a huge Georgian double home. There's sort of a spire in the middle of it. It's an extensive ground behind a wall, like a fence, iron gated fence that surrounds the whole place. The driver drives off and lets you out. You can walk up the stairs, put stone stairs to the entrance hall, and the foyer has been turned into a reception area where there's a nurse sitting behind a large reception desk. There's like waiting benches for people to wait, and the place is, you can't really walk further into the building without being let in. Like there's a smaller sort of like gates that blocks it off. You walk in, and the nurse looks. Yes, can I help you? She's in her late 20s, about your age, very like yellow hair, short, very tiny little thing actually.
Miss Davenport to see Henry Miller, please. And I do have this envelope from his sister.
She takes the reason. And your connection to Mr. Miller?
Family friend?
Just one moment. She lifts up the receiver, dials a number and like an extension, and Dr. Hardstrom, there's a lady here asking to visit Mr. Miller. Fine. If you just sit down there, and Dr. Hardstrom will be right with you.
Thank you.
It doesn't take long, like 5 to 8 minutes, and an elderly gentleman, probably in his like mid-50s, late 50s, appears. He's wearing a nice, expensive suit with a doctor's frock over it. He's carrying a clipboard and with a file on it, and his face is a bit full. His hair is thinning, and he's got spectacles. Miss, you get to see Mr. Miller?
Yes, if possible.
Oh, yes, it's possible. Not too long, though, and he might become a bit agitated. I'm Dr. Hardstrom. I'm in charge of the case. I'm also the administrator of Arkham Sanatorium. If you follow me, if that is okay, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so...
Yes, well, thank you so much for doing this yourself.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I was attending when he was brought in, so I do like to keep on top and follow my own cases. And this is quite a peculiar case, if I might say so.
Yeah, I am here on his sister behest, and she was quite worried, and yeah, she wants us to, well, she just wants to make sure that everything is all right with him.
Yes, of course, I can understand. Of course, she would be worried, and I understand she's had a bit on. When she was well here, she looked like she had been in injuries and had an injury as well. So I can understand sending a family friend. He's like looking at notes, and he's like talking to you. He's acknowledging you, but it's like he seems distracted. It seems like he really has more important things to do. But anyway, yes. Well, you see, Mr. Miller exhibits all the hallmarks of schizophrenia, I'm afraid. He's bizarre delusions, he's paranoid, has incoherent speech, he has a lack of sense of self, a sort of detachment from surroundings and for people. Quite unusual to see that manifesting so late in age as him, but we'll never do quite know. The mind is a very mysterious thing. So he's quiet now, but he do get some bouts of agitation, and if he don't be alarmed, he hasn't been violent at all. But he does have these tantrums or turns, you might say. Well, here we are. He stops in front of a door.
I'm sorry, can I just ask something?
Yes.
Has he been getting better or worse since he's been here, and how long has he actually been here?
He hasn't gotten better, but his turns are his quiet turn. He's more relaxed for longer periods of time, but it is still sometimes, particularly at night, cry out and act out in such a manner that he needs to be sedated.
Oh dear! I mean, how exactly how long has he been here?
He was admitted 3 days ago. The police brought him. They first thought him drunk, I think they
Yes.
said, but they couldn't smell any alcohol in him, so they brought him here. They found him wandering the streets of Arkham, shouting, screaming, acting, well, the way paranoid schizophrenics do. He had an injury which was not fresh, but maybe a day old or so on his left wrist. I'm afraid it did look self-inflicted, almost like he cut it in something jagged, or maybe even, well, I don't know, almost like he's maybe even bitten at it. So we did fear that he might have tried to hurt himself, miss. Just so you warn about that. But he has made no attempt on his own life while he's been here. I can assure you that. We check on him in hourly as well. So.
Well, it's good that he has you to take care of him when he
Thank you
clearly
very
can't do it himself.
I'll just leave the door ajar, and I'll be in the hallway. If anything, you can call out.
Thank you.
He opens the door and ushers you in, and it closes it like so. It's like this sort of crack left open.
We're back.
Oh, back. Oh, bit of a technical issue there, but it looks like everyone's here and everyone's hearing us. You see Henry. He's dressed in a white pajamas kind of thing, clearly like a hospital gown. There's a bed in the room, not much else, and he's sitting in the corner.
I'll slowly walk towards him.
He's like looking down. He's hunched up. He's holding himself, and he's like rocking silently back and forth.
Henry, it's me, Rebecca Davenport. I'm your sister's friend.
His hand shoots out and he pulls it close. You really? You must be careful. We didn't know. We needed to know. So we called. And it answered. It answered, Rebecca. It answered. It's their soul. It's their heart. He's the messenger. You see, he's the messenger. Oh God, what did I do? And then she's coming. And it comes. Beware the hag. Beware the hag. Oh God. I signed the book. I should have signed the book. The knife and all the blood. God. They come from the angles, you see. The angles. She comes from the angles and she takes you. We shouldn't have called him. We shouldn't have called his name. Oh God. You don't see.
Henry, who are you talking about? Who did you call? Who's the messenger you're talking about?
Him. The crawling chaos. But she is his disciple. You don't see? It come from the angles. They come from the angles, and they take you, and then you sign the book, and then and he starts shouting, but he's not attacking, but he's calling you. And the angles, you gotta beware the angles. And Dr. Hartstrom comes into the room and no, Mr. Miller, no need for being too bad. He said, no. And he points behind you and screams. And Dr. Hartstrom walks over and he injects his arm with a needle, and it instantly starts calming down. There we are, Mr. Miller, all better now. Just one of your turns. Don't worry. Here, let me help you to bed. And he lifts him, helps him up, and he's not knocked out, but he's clearly docile. He's calming down, and he leads him over and lays him down on the bed, and he sort of crawls into a fetus position and just lying there, not falling asleep immediately, but just staring blankly out. I am sorry about this, miss, but he has these turns from time to time.
But have you heard? Did you hear what he was saying?
Yes, he's been babbling incoherently about some evil hag and something about angles, and keeps praying. It seems quite
angles. That is
angles.
Strange to talk about in that way.
Very strange. I mean, actually, it makes me think I wish we had an oval room without any sort of Looks synchronous, but anyway, yeah, and this
I
is
do-
sort of, and he stops and cries no and no over and over. Yeah, it's paranoid delusional talk, miss, absolute nonsense. Of course, what knows? We don't know what's rattling through his mind, but
I don't mean to question your methods, but have you tried having him to draw things? I don't know. I've heard that it's quite good to get out certain things by drawing.
oh, it's not an unusual thing, but we could try. He's been mostly catatonic and lethargic when not this active, but we could try that. I'll see to him that he gets some drawing pencils and some paper tomorrow, and maybe we get something out of it.
I could come back as well. I don't know. As long as this isn't hurting him and the progress.
No,
that
we'll
you
give him
make,
crayons.
I
There's no
wouldn't.
possible way he can hurt himself at no sharp points or anything, so that shouldn't be any problem at all. Yeah, you can come back tomorrow. Perhaps if you can visit him at 2:00.
Yes, of course.
Excellent.
Anything for my friend.
Well, I must be off. Do you want to spend some more time with him here now, or do you wish to leave?
Maybe if I can just stay a little while, just till he's, I don't know.
Of course. Just wait here, and I'll have an orderly come with a stool for you, and he can wait outside and escort you out when it's done. And he
Thank you very
leaves short while after the orderly comes, gives you a stool. You can sit by the bed, and the orderly waits out in the hallway till you're done.
I'll just be trying to calm him and sing a little, I don't know, lullaby or something.
A ditty.
Sure, and just until he kind of, I don't know, falls asleep or is calm enough.
Yeah, you just calm and you sleep with him, and after like 20 minutes, he drifts off to sleep, and he looks peaceful. He looks like he's calmed very much by your presence and your actions. Nice. Well, while Rebecca is visiting Henry at the sanatorium, Matilda is visiting bookshops.
She is indeed.
There are three bookshops, prominent bookshops in Arkham. The closest one is actually in the same street as his apartment.
What name and what type of books are we talking about?
Right, let's get my notes ready here. The closest one, which is the J. Will bookshop.
Yeah, and we have a receipt from that.
Yeah, you walk over to it. That's on 230 West Church Street. It's just a little further down the street from where you are now.
What type of bookstore is it?
It's a large store. It seems to be devoted mostly to new editions and mostly to textbooks. The sign says open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So yeah, so it appears to be a textbook shop, like academical, that sort of stuff.
All right, I enter.
You enter. There's a couple of customers hanging around. There's a lady behind the counter, mid-50s, a bit plump, black hair that's just starting to get a hint of gray.
I take a very ladylike stance, almost like in the middle of the room, like coat half off, looking around, really like I need help, but I'm too posh to ask.
Doesn't take too long for the lady behind the counter to walk up and, good afternoon, miss. May I help you with something?
Well, my name is Matilda Bremer Winchester.
Not the Winchester, are you? The writer, the one who wrote the most excellent academical text on the Middle Kingdom.
Indeed, it is.
Oh, fabulous!
Thank you.
What brings you to my store?
A colleague of mine, a research colleague, not an author, but one of our researchers. He purchased some books from your lovely establishment.
What?
But the list seems to be a little bit short. And right now I cannot get a hold of him. And I am in a dire need to know what the rest of his research material for my newest book is going to be about. because I
Oh,
need the material.
Well, I can find it. Do you have a name, Miss
Henry, was it Miller?
Miller?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, Mr. Miller, of course. Just one moment. She walks back to the back behind the counter into the office, back there, and she comes back a little while later. Yes, he bought 3 books from us. 2 were purchased about a month ago. The last one, little over almost 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks ago. The first 2 books were one was about Egypt, Egyptology actually, historical, about iconography and pictures in ancient Egyptian dynasties. The other was a book about local folklore of New England.
Oh, that is fascinating. You see,
And the third book was it's a work by Sigmund Freud, Interpretation of Dreams.
Indeed. You see, I'm gonna write my newest book. My newest masterpiece is gonna be about Americana history and folklore.
Ah, well, interesting, most interesting. I'm sure it'll
Yes.
be a delightful read. I do look forward to reading it.
It's gonna be an expose on myths and histories and legends, but with a more historical archaeology eye on it. You see, like an expose, if you like.
Fabulously.
And I appreciate this, but if I were to acquire, let's say, rarer books that are hard to come by.
Well, we generally only deal in new editions here, but if you want,
And your bookstore is
this one,
fantastic.
I would definitely check out Rare Books and Maps. It's over on 88 Gedney Street. It's run by one Tillingwell. He has quite
his name, you said? His name?
Tillingwell, Edward Tillingwell.
Tellingwell?
Tillingwell.
All right. I thought I had to smoosh more to get info, but if she's so inclined to dance, I'm like, oh, thank you very much, Deb. Kisses. Bye.
She smiles and says goodbye.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna waste my time with her. If she's gonna give me what I want that fast, I'm like, yeah, bye, girl, yeah,
Fine
bye.
has its,
I'm like,
yes.
I'm better than you. It's 1920s. Bye.
All right.
I'm out.
Yep.
It's 1920s. She's allowed to. She's go bye. She's out.
So where are you off to next?
Rare Books immediately.
Okay, that's over on the north side, which is back across the river. So you get a taxi service.
I get a taxi because I'm thinking. Marcus is thinking. He is in a deal that's gone wrong about something very expensive, and they've maybe tortured him. They maybe beat him. They maybe beat him senseless, and they got brain damage or something happened to him. It's about something very valuable. That is going to be the Rare Book and Maps. We're going.
Yep. Well, the car service takes you up to 588 Geddes Street. So you pay the driver, you get out. It's a small establishment. One door open, window shop, just Rare Books and Maps us over. It's quite discreet. You open the door and go in. It's a very small area. It doesn't really have anything on display. As you can see, it's not like you walk into a big shop.
No.
This is sort of just a waiting, more or less, just waiting area with a reception desk. Clearly, whatever he sells is safely stored in the back room.
This is this is the equivalent a clothing store for book people. It's Gucci for book people.
Yeah, that's sort of a place. It really is the.
Yeah. It's like if you got enough money, you could shut shit down.
Yep. So
she's gonna walk in a bit more, not high society, more academically.
Okay, the man behind the counter is mid-40s, perhaps, thin, brown hair. He's got glasses on, a bit of a stubble, but well dressed, like immaculately nice dress. Three-piece suit, but he's not wearing the jacket. He's just wearing the And he looks up as he enters. Good evening, good afternoon, miss. How may I help you?
Good evening, Mr. Tellinger.
Tellingwell.
Tellingwell, pardon. I got your name in passing, so I'm very sorry if I pronounce it wrong.
No, Bruce. Not the most common name.
Indeed. I say it again. I'm a bit of a sticky situation, and I will not beat around the bush with you, sir. Henry Miller.
You see his smile fades, and he... Yes, what about Mr. Miller?
I can gauge on your reaction that you are going to be the man that maybe is going to help me with a bit of a problem.
Well, that depends what you want to know about it. What do you want Henry for?
He is the brother of my husband, no, of my cousin's wife. It's a family matter, and he is now, as I probably can gauge, he's not well. And he's been following a trail. And that trail I've been following, and that trail has been leading me to you.
He opens up the part that separates the counter from the rest of the work, walks past you, walks up to the door. We'll talk in my office. And he flips it's open to closed, and he leads you back to his back office. You can see behind her is a small area immediately behind her leads into an office, and from there you can see another door leads into a large storage room where there's loads and loads of drawers. The kind of control door.
Yeah.
We have all the collection felt, packed in felt, and in there. Sit down, please.
Thank you, sir.
No, I don't know, but you medicine, and the law might say it's no longer legal, but I could sure need a drink. He pours himself a good whiskey. I hope you don't mind.
If you're pouring, I'll be drinking, sir.
Oh, he smiles, finds out a glass, and pours you a stiff one and slides it over.
Thank you.
Henry, terrible thing happened. I don't understand it.
It's a mystery.
When last minute would I expect to end up in a sanatorium?
You're not the first person to say so. But yet we're here.
I mean, Henry did have his faults. I'll admit to that. He could be cocky, self-sure, and a bit fond of the drink, but he was a good man, and he had a brilliant mind. And he was just something about that man, how he could track down even the most rarest of books and manage to convince the current owners to sell it to whoever was wanting it. He's a good man, and it breaks my heart to see him the way he is now.
You lock the door, sir. You are fearful of whatever information you're going to give me at this minute. What is afoot?
He wouldn't talk to me about his last job. He got it a while back, about a month ago. But the last couple of times I saw him, he was nervous. He was cautious. He was the sort of man who checked his surroundings before entering and exiting. He clearly felt that someone was after him, that he was could be in some sort of danger, and he hinted that it had to do with the job he had undertaken. He refused to tell me anything more of it. He said that he would not put me in any form of danger. I offered, of course, to help him in any way, but he said there was nothing I could help him with, and that he would prefer that I was stayed safe.
Damn it, man. My cousin has now a broken arm and his wife a broken foot. If you are withholding information, this is on your conscience. If something happens to one of my dear ones, you tell me what you know. Well,
the only thing I know for certain is that he asked me what I knew about a man. This was about a month ago. I don't know if this is the man who gave him the job, but I have a feeling it is. His name is George William Bishop.
That name, sir.
Yeah, he lives here at Arkham. He's well, to call him rich would be an understatement of the year. He is loaded.
Oh, he's loaded,
he's
sir.
rumored to be interested in rare types of books. I never had any dealings with him, and I do not know him and sold him anything. But rumors are that he prefers the sort of books that, well, up through the centuries have not been received well by the church, if you understand me.
Oh,
There
he
are books
is
that
like
are,
the dark arts, the
well,
forbidden
it's
lectures,
dark, but it's generally things that are been
found upon.
excommunicated, that has been burnt and declared heretic, that sort of thing.
I do not like this at all.
He's also a bit of a recluse, keeps to himself. That's pretty much all I know about him. But
Henry Miller was then working for this chap, this
that was the
Mr.
impression I
Bishop.
got, yes. Yes, that it was.
And then
I don't know
Mr.
what we
Bishop, because of Henry Miller's finding of rare books.
I would
Ah,
assume that he was either procuring an item for Mr. Bishop or authenticating and validating one. It's generally what he did. So pick one or the other. But if he was being followed, it would, and then he feared for himself, it would suggest that he was in possession of something that someone wanted, would it not?
indeed. And you even telling me this, keeping this so secretive, you know there's something dark afoot, sir. Are you telling me everything you know? This is my family. I will not go gently on you if you hold back.
No, that's pretty much all I know. I know that he hired 2 other people to work with him. I know that one of them is a local historian. I don't know his name. It's no, I didn't. No, he didn't mention his name. The other was an artist. He's an expert in papers and canvas and ink and that sort of thing. He's an art student here at the university. I don't know and Frank, maybe he said his name was. I'm not sure, but I know he's a student at the university. But that is also all I know. Like I said, I did offer to help him, and I did offer to aid him, but he said it was best that he didn't put anyone else at risk.
I downed the brandy or whiskey, whatever it gave. I'm sorry to be so unnecessarily emotional with you, sir.
No, I got it.
But
trust me, I'm emotional myself. I want to.
I don't like. This is dirty, and I do not like it.
No.
But I understand that you're a third party and you're not directly involved in this, whatever kind of deal that happened to Mr. Miller. You're not at fault.
Thank you. No, I wish I'd forced the issue, but well, when Henry sets his mind to something, there's no changing it. That is for sure.
As I've been told, except for now, where his mind is lost. Strange.
Very strange.
Very
alarming.
And unnecessary.
And I hope you don't mind me saying this, miss, but if whatever he was working on did, what should we say, cause of make him in any way or shape the person he is now, if something untoward happened to him, do be careful. And if you need any help at any time, do not hesitate to call on me. I'd gladly lend a hand to find out what happened to my friend.
I find you're a respectable gentleman that is willing to be candid and forward with whatever information you have. Of course. I find you're a man of intellect.
Well, thank you.
If need be.
Well, you know where to find me.
Sir.
I live above the shop, so if you need me, I can generally be found here. Good luck and stay safe.
Thank you. Is she feeling a bit flustered because she got a bit like, damn it, man? She threw her fist down. She's not used to
that. Emotions get the better of her.
Yeah, she's getting a bit like, yeah, but I really respect you, really. And like, oh, you like this so grand. And she's like,
it's more like you got a feeling that he sort of shared your outrage at what had happened to Noah, that it sort of, he recognizes the anger.
Then she goes, damn it, man. Tell me the truth.
So he gets up and he escorts you back and opens the door and
she puts her coat back on and she tips and No, her imaginary hand. She nicks, and thank you, sir.
He gives a short bow and he closes the door behind you, and you see that the closed door, the closed sign remains
Stays,
closed.
yeah.
He clearly shutting early for the day.
Yeah.
And well, Mark. The others head off in their directions to do their bits, and you're left with your end of the investigation.
I start at the hotel.
Right. It's not that far. You get in your car and you drive down towards it. You drive out of you drive east and then head south towards the campus area. This clearly is part of town is clearly dominated by the university, Miskatonic University. There's a large campus ground that you pass by, immaculate lawns and beautiful buildings. And you can clearly see a lot of the old federal-style buildings and Georgian homes around here have probably been bought out by the college and turned into residences and student halls and stuff like that. You head down to the Miskatonic Hotel, which is a beautiful building. You find it, as I said, on the 200 block of West College Street, which is, like the name say, pretty close to the college. It's a 5 stories tall, and it appears to be probably the largest building in Miskatonic. It has a beautiful view facing the campus area. You enter the lobby, and it's tall, like the first story is probably like 2 stories tall almost. There's a big chandelier lighting up, beautiful mahogany reception desk. Bellboys open the door. You're being immediately served at the reception. Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you?
I'm in need of a suite. Preferably with at least 3 bedrooms and a concierge.
Certainly, sir. May I suggest the presidential suite on the top floor?
Oh, that would suit me perfectly fine. And
Excellent. Yes.
I need the concierge service to suites because I need someone to set up a meeting for me with a certain Mr. Oh, the player has forgotten the name already.
Mr. Bishop!
Mr. Bishop.
Mr. George William Bishop. Oh, so now we'll arrange that. If you signed here, how many nights will you be spending?
Indefinitely.
Definitely, no problem, sir. The presidential suite, it's on the 5th floor. It's $50 a night. We'll get open.
Perfectly fine.
So, will you help the gentleman with his luggage, Pierre? And
there's more on the car outside.
Excellent. I will arrange the concierge service. Will contact you and about arranging a meeting with Mr. Bishop.
Thank you. And also, we need a dinner for 3 at 7 o'clock.
Dinner for 3 at 7 o'clock. Certainly, sir. We shall make a reservation. Do you wish to dine in the restaurant, or do you wish to have the meal brought to the suite, sir?
We'd rather dine in the restaurant.
Certainly, sir. We will set off. We will reserve you the finest table.
Perfectly splendid.
You follow with the bellboy up from the elevator 5th floor, and you get in. He opens the door at the end. It's a magnificent presidential suite, 4 bedrooms, large living area, splendid view of the university grounds. There's a small balconies there, not big ones, but like you go outside to have a smoke and a drink and stand outside. Well, you could have a drink if it hadn't been a dry.
But I do have a drink because I can.
Yeah. The bedrooms are the 3 of the bedrooms all the same size, and the 4th one is a bit larger and more luxurious. No price goes to for anyone who guesses which one Mark ended up choosing. And shortly afterwards, after the bellboy has left, there's a knock on the door, and the concierge left concierge.
Enter, please, my good man.
Thank you, sir. I understand that sir wishes to set up a meeting with one George William Bishop.
That would be Of the uttermost importance, yes, please.
Close. Do you give me liberty to arrange any time, or do you have a particular time of day?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible, certainly, sir. I'll come back as soon as I arrange the meet.
Thank you.
It doesn't take long. He's back like 20 minutes later. He knocks on the door again. You let him in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sir, Mr. Bishops has said that he is quite willing to meet with you and suggested that 5 o'clock at his residence, if that would be suit you.
5 o'clock at his residence. That'll be fine.
Excellent, sir. I shall confirm the meeting. And do you have his address, or do you need it, sir?
I would rather need it, yes, please.
No problem, sir. I will write it down for you here. He writes down the address and slides it over to you. You
Was
see
this
it's on
5
Market
o'clock
Street.
this evening, or was this 5 o'clock tomorrow evening?
Oh no, tomorrow, tonight, today. You said it was important.
Thank
Did you
you.
not? Well, you have the address. It's about an hour till the meet begins, and I think it might be time for a little break then. And you can gather all the players, because you people are finished and back at the hotel.
Yeah.
To 4:30.
Yeah. Yeah. Done. Yay! Hello, bye.
Well,
Bye.
here is a short break. We'll be right back. Rebecca and Matilda, you actually both meet just outside the hotel. You arrive back at the hotel at the same time. It's almost about 4:30 in the afternoon. You enter the doors open for you by the doorman. You enter a beautiful large hotel lobby. There's a big chandelier hanging from the ceiling, a beautiful mahogany reception area, perfectly dressed receptionist standing behind her, looking up and smiling at you as you enter.
I think maybe Rebecca feels a little underdressed at this place.
Matilda never does. It's
No.
like, enchanté.
Good afternoon, miss. Miss, how may I be of service?
We have a suite booked in Mr. Davenport's name.
Certainly, sir. Yes, we have it right here. The presidential suite.
Indeed.
Well, that's Mr. Davenport right now. He points to the elevator where Mark exits. You're on your way to your meeting. It's 4:30 now, and a meeting is up at the north end of town.
Ladies, we have a meeting with Mr. Bishop. In half an hour.
How efficient.
Okay, we do not have
me.
time to supper.
Well, supper has been booked in the dining room at 7.
Excellent. All right. I have information.
And then we'll have the
comrades.
cocktails, of course, in the suite afterwards. But
All right. I'm going to jump the gun on this. Sorry, Rebecca, but I have information.
Do tell.
It seems that this Mr. Bishop is at the center of this mystery.
oh,
Mr. Miller seemed to have worked for this man, acquiring very rare books. And he was not working alone. He was working with the art student and another historian, a local historian. Sadly, the proprietor of Rare Books and Maps could not tell me the names, but I'm guessing they are at the Miskatonic University, and we will find them if need be. But Mr. Bishop is definitely in the thick of this mystery.
Oh, that's good
Do
to
we
know.
know
That is
anything about
very
him?
good to know.
And the proprietor, the player can't say his name, blah, 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 blah. Seemed very worried. He even locked the door when we had this conversation. He is just as worried as he should be. When we look at what happened to my dear cousin and Tamsin, it's
This
rational.
is starting
Good
to
to be
look
cautious.
like a proper mystery indeed.
Very, and we should keep our eyes and ears out and tread carefully, because there are ruffians afoot. And we don't know if Mr. Bishop is one of the good guys or one of the bad guys at this minute.
Do we know anything about him?
He's rich. He acquires rare books.
Right.
And he is not well liked. He is not well liked. I can tell you that.
There is something about him that that rings a bell, but I don't quite know what it is. But that means, well, of course he's a rich fella, but it also may mean that he has his nose in the occult.
Well, it seems so. With the books he's looking, well, Rare Books and Maps deals primarily in not the norm. And
What
I
is
gather,
the norm of books these days, dear Bex?
Oh.
I'm slightly offended that he asks Bex about this, but that's okay.
GM, can you help out a girl here?
Depends what's he asking? Asking about?
I don't even know if he's.
He's asking about economic. You generally just. Yeah, it's
mostly ask just to ask.
I'm very intelligent. I know all about the rare book scene, so I'll just.
I think it was
give
more.
You the lay of the land.
I think it was more just to punch through that. My sister absolutely has no life at all, and has her nose too much in the books.
Because I'm just jabbering on, so you need to stop me.
I don't.
Right. Well, you all squeeze into the car. Who and Mark, you let Matilda drive, or do you
If
drive?
Tilda wants to drive, Tilda will drive because I've of course had another drink, so I'm a bit animated and maybe shouldn't drive. And
Oh.
I do, and I say this loudly, do like to see a beautiful woman drive a beautiful
Thank you.
car.
She's
Again.
feeling quite like investigatory, very in charge, very she likes to be in the thick of it. So yes, she's driving.
And
And
also,
I'm
since
I'm referring to the meeting with Henry at
Oh.
the asylum while we drive. So I'm just giving a download of what.
Yeah.
and
Angles.
also letting my sister sit up front, since now we
Oh.
don't have any luggage with us, so the seat in the back is quite roomy.
All right. Okay, then I'm like, Rebecca, the angles.
I don't know. The only angles that I come to mind are the triangles from the sketch from my father's office, but that's about it. I don't know any angles. From a cultural reference, I can't really find anything that fits what he was rambling about, and he was rambling. So
Well,
you might-
there
you-
are-
the man.
There are
the-
only 3 types of angles: the blunt, the sharp ones, and the straight.
And clearly we have a crooked one in
You
the
really
back.
don't remember your trigonometry, do you?
Yeah, well, do you have any other angles than the blunt angles, the sharp angles, and the straight angles? Is there a sort of inverted angle, maybe? Like the square root of -1?
Quite right, sir.
I don't know where that came from.
Is interesting, probably for someone. I think we are approaching our destination.
Yeah, the slope up from it's the north side, up on the same actual Derby Street, the same street as the sanatorium was on, Rebecca. And this is where the slope up from the river crests, so it's like a high point on the north side. This is clearly a rich area. There's this streets around here and the neighboring streets boast a large number of Georgian manors. Victorian as well. And your destination is 460 West Derby Street. It's a large Victorian Gothic mansion. It's 2 stories tall with a large attic, and on the right side of the building is a sort of like a towerless spire, such as 3 stories tall. There's a large garden in front of the building, and the grounds just extend further off into the wooded areas behind it. It's large. It's clearly rich. Most of the places here are large, like manor with large grounds. This is the very north end of the town, and behind it is this woodland area. The gate to has been left open, so you can drive all the way up and park in front of the house.
I do so.
Yeah.
Controlled.
Yeah. Park slowly in front of the building. It's 5 steps lead up to the entrance, double door entrance.
Right, gang. Do we expect trouble from this, Mr. Bishop?
If we expect trouble, I think it will be no. You know, he doesn't know who we are, only that I have acquired a meeting with him, so I don't think there is any reason to fear fisticuffs or anything like that.
Oh, well, if our investigation in town hasn't led back to him, I think you should take the lead on this.
I can take the lead.
Find a reason for us to engage with this Mr. Bishop and see if he will play chess with us, so to speak.
The name of your the last name of Mr. Henry, that was Miller. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
yes.
Miller.
So I take charge. I step up towards the mansion, ring the bell.
You ring the bell, and about a minute passes before the door opens, and clearly like a butler opens. He's immaculately dressed. He's tall, almost loomingly tall, bald, early 50s.
Mr. Mr. Davenport and friends to see Mr. Bishop. We have an appointment at 5 o'clock.
He nods, he opens the door completely and gestures you to come inside. It's like standing up against the door. You will enter, he closes the door behind you, and he walks in front of you, and he beckons you to follow, and he leads you up the double stairs that leads up from the foyer, one turning left and one turning right, and you take the one that turns left. He leads you down the corridor, like the mezzanine on top, opens a door into a library and shows you in. And have you seated, and he nods, walks over, and knocks on a door in this room. And shortly after, the door opens and a man enters. He's a tall, slim figure. He's dark-skinned, perhaps of Egyptian nationality or heritage. He has quite a young face and black eyes that has this tint of humor, clear that. And when he speaks in a mellow voice. Ah, gentlemen, ladies, welcome.
Mr.
Mr.
Bishop.
Davenport.
That's correct.
I'm George William Bishop. Please, have a seat. May I get any of you anything to drink?
I wouldn't mind something.
Do
if
you
know
have
what I mean.
bubbles?
So. Robert, bring us a couple of bottles the 98 Latour, should it? Yes. Please sit.
Thank you.
I do realize that technically alcohol has been prohibited, but
Technically.
Well, I have
Well,
heard
if
the
you all
statement
could
that
roll.
you could eat grapes, so maybe it's just that you're doing.
It's different way of enjoying the fruits of the land.
Of course it is.
Well, that is certainly true. Oh, come, sit. And he sits down in a chair. This is it appears to be a sort of a parlor kind of thing, and you see the door he came into from was clearly a library, and that was just part of the spire you saw on the outside, the tower. Here is a lot of like Baroque and Rococo furniture, clearly expensive. There's loads and loads of bookshelves with books on it, but there's a lot of paintings. You can see also a lot of boxes that are open or not opened yet. They're like wooden crates, like shipping crates.
Yeah,
And
with this like sawdusty thing.
yeah, like sawdust,
like Indiana Jonesy boxes.
Yeah. You can see that some Egyptian archaeological pieces here, and you can see like a beautiful scarabée thing is encased in rock is sitting there. There's also some strange mechanical contraption, sort of like with the glass rods and metal springs. Just it's quite strange. There's, quite eclectic collection of what appears to be art and sculptures and stuff like that.
Oh, I do like your upcoming collection, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you. I'm expanding a bit.
As you and my friend Tilda has very much the same taste.
Oh, well, a lady of excellent taste, then I'd say. And he smiles, pearly white teeth.
But that is not why we are here. Our friend, our dear friend Henry Miller, is the reason.
You see, he becomes quite interested, quite like you really captured his intention by saying Henry's name.
That's
Do I have to roll? Do we have to roll on it? Can we?
No. It's like it's you don't have to roll that. It's clear. Like he's been like talking, shouting, and so, as soon as he leans in and he like it's so apparent you don't have to roll on it at all. It's like he's clearly intrigued now. It's like you have caught his attention, and it's obvious that you have. You know Mr. Miller. How is he?
I only heard of the
rumors.
family. And his family is very, very concerned with his unfortunate meeting.
Well-being.
Yes. And after Mr. Miller took this vacation at the sanitarium, there has been a few cases of breaking and entering. And after hearing that he was working for you, I wanted to know why, how, what. What is your
Do we
connection?
have champagne at this moment? By the way,
The butler comes in and he pops open a bottle and gives glasses to all three of you. And he fills the glasses and he puts the bottle in like a cooler and another bottle in another cooler.
Oh, this is really good. A hint
Yeah.
of bread, green apples.
no, Matilda's going to be a little cocky now because she inserts anything in any situation with herself. He's like, well, breaking bones is also a bit of a problem, don't you think, Mr. Bishop?
Has they been infested? Has they been assaulted as well? Well, that's horrible. Well, and you were friends of the family, you say?
Intimately.
Good friends of the family.
Intimately.
Well, he looks at the butler. And by the door it's closed, he resumes. Well, I shall trust you. Yes, you are quite correct. Mr. Miller was indeed working for me. Since you know him, I'm thinking I reckon you're familiar with the type of work he's done. I recently came into possession of a very rare and valuable book. I wanted Mr. Miller to, first of all, authenticate it to prove it actually is genuine, and secondly, prove provenance to the book, to trace its history, so to speak. And he starts rumbling about something. I don't know if you know this, but my interest in books are not the everyday sort of first edition collection. No, I'm more interested in the more esoteric, the more specialized, the more
A man of my taste.
more
Mark Bubbles.
forbidden tombs of knowledge.
We've been told some of this, Mr. Bishop, already.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
you see, the book that I bought and I wanted Mr. Miller to authenticate was none other than the famous Necronomicon.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
You can all roll occult to see if you've heard of it. If not, you could also try.
Book of the Dead. Oh, that's me.
I mean, I work at a rare bookstore.
You've heard the name mentioned. I'm fairly certain that you heard the name mentioned, and you know that there's a couple of copies
Oh no! I
in
got
the major,
80,
in some of the major,
89.
A
I'm
16.
major
so
from one. So you fail.
You need to tell me everything again because of that. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you again. You didn't make a
16
roll?
out of 40. So yes.
Okay, well, both of you then. You both know that it's quite famous occult book. You know, Rebecca, that it would be very valuable. Very few copies exist. You know that there's a copy in the British Museum. You believe there's a copy in Harvard, and also you believe there's supposed to be a copy of it here in Miskatonic University as well. It's supposed to be written by an Arab. That's more or less what you know about it, and it's very valuable. I mean, priceless is probably the word one would use on it. You, on the other hand, who managed to enroll the occult, this is quite a sought after and mythical book within the occult scene. It's supposedly written sometime around 950 AD by an 730 AD by an Arab named Abd al-Asrad. A couple of different translations have been made up down to the centuries. The most famous one is a Latin translation, which was done by Olaus Vorminus in 1228 AD. That is the one that's been printed, and which there are surviving copies of at universities. It's supposed to be, detailing strange occult, strange deities. There's a lot of stories and rumors of what is in it, but no one really knows for sure because very few people have actually seen it or read it. So it's mostly what you know is mostly hearsay about it. But it would definitely be sort of an occultist holy grail, so to speak, and would certainly be worth a lot of money for a book collector. Well, I don't know how much you might know about the Necronomicon, but and he relates the same information that I'm always told you, and then he expands upon it a bit. You see, the copy I procured, however, was not a Latin translation. No, this is something far rare. This was, if it is genuine, which I understand that Mr. Miller believed it might very well be, is a Greek translation by Theodorus Philetas from 950 AD. Now, this was printed twice. One in a small German edition.
1583, son. Right.
And one's printed in Italy. Sorry, not German. Yeah. Sorry, Spanish. German and Italian run. It was in the early 16th century, probably around 1510. The Greek translation was printed in Italy, which is believed to be the work, perhaps, according to one of Mr. Miller work, by one Aldus difficult name, Aldus Manutius, the founder of the Aldin Press. It is famous for printing unedited Greek works, which is quite likely why that's the printer. Unfortunately, this book did have some damage. It had suffered some burn damage, but still, even in its present condition, it's worth a lot of money and quite sought after. What I wanted from Mr. Miller was him to authenticate that this really was a genuine Greek version of the Necronomicon, that it was indeed printed in Italy.
It's very small to you, sir.
Yeah. And if it was, I wanted him to prove its provenance. How did its copy come to be found here? Why was it burned, damaged, and trace the history of it? That is why I hired him. And quite frankly, I'm beginning to worry because I heard rumors recently, yesterday, that Mr. Miller had been admitted to the Arkham Sanatorium, but I did not know this for sure before you came. And I have no reports for him or his colleagues. I believe he hired 2 assistants, which I've never met, but I have signed the expenses sheet, so I should have their name somewhere at records. And I have not heard a single word from them from about a week.
You have them names, sir, because...
Yes, I have their names. I don't... Just one moment.
They are attached to Miskatonic University.
Yes, I believe one is an art student and the other is sort of a
local historian.
1 second. And he gets up and he walks back to the door he came from. He opens it and enters. You see, clearly that's a library. I mean, the books in here are nice, but clearly this is not the... This is more for show, the expensive first edition kind of thing. You put up a show where the library is probably his private study. And he comes back with a folder, and it's a letterboard folder, and he opens. I signed him 2 wage slips for the price that he asked for. One for one Samuel Stewart, I believe that's the historian, and the other for one Franklin Blaine. That must be the art student. Yes, I believe so. Like I said, I didn't meet him. I trusted Miller explicitly to put together a team of experts that he needed. I also have some other expenses sheets here and small progress reports. But like I said, I haven't heard from them in about a week, and I have no idea why my book at this moment is.
It's
going to be found, and this is worrying to me. Like I said, it is. Well, it's priceless.
So they haven't returned the book to you.
Well, well, if you're looking into what happened to poor Mr. Miller,
Indeed, we are, sir.
well, I would gladly pay you to look for my book at the same time. I mean, it seems quite likely that the two are interlinked. And also, what on earth happened to poor Mr. Miller's colleagues? Not a word from them either. And they did know that he worked for me. I do know that. So it's strange that they have not sought to contact me.
Money will not be a part of this deal, Mr. Bishop, because we all are personally involved in the matter at hand. It muddies the water very much and not makes us trust each other as we should if we all are honest about our intentions to figure out what's happened to Mr. Miller and
very
these
well.
two
I
individuals.
lean into to Tilda. Though this
Tilda?
will actually make
I'm
us.
Tilda.
Yeah, Tilda. Lean into Tilda. Matilda.
Yeah, I love it. You Tilda. Yeah,
And
I'm
say-
into it.
This will actually make us professional detectives.
I like it for a research standpoint to my book, maybe. But I won't write, you see. We're not working for him.
Ah, SMRT.
See here, we are not hired help.
Are you
Mis-
whispering
Yeah.
loud
Yes.
or?
Wait, jumping. Mr. Bishop, I set my glass down. Mr. Bishop, both our interests have come to a pass. We are at a crossroads where what we need and what you need has now met at, well, we're not butting heads, but we need the same thing in a sense. We need a resolution to this mystery. You need your book. We need to know what happened to our dear friends or friend.
Certainly.
I think we should be allies in this. Full disclosure.
I totally agree with you, Miss. It's an excellent idea. Clearly, our interests are aligned, as you say, and also I do believe I do feel some sort of responsibility for Mr. Miller and his current patriots. After all, they were working for me, and at the very least, anything that has happened to them is an affront to me as well.
Well, then, Mr. Bishop, before anything else going to pass between our hands, before we see anything more, whatever you have on Mr. Miller's dealings and these two associates, you should hand over as a sign of
Certainly.
standing
it's
of
all-
camaraderie in this finding out this mystery.
Yeah,
Trade.
certainly. Well, all here, in here are all the expensive sheets, all expenses I've been reimbursing them for. It's all the receipts, also the progress reports, the information I had, but it's not detailed. They were holding off for a final complete report once the investigation had been fulfilled. So it's merely short updates on their work and the progress, which was looking very promising. It did, like I said, it does really seem like it is the genuine book, which might explain if someone else is after it. Here you are.
Thank you.
It's also receipts of I'll get you the receipts of my purchase of the book as well. Just one moment. He opens
Does he leave the room?
Yeah, he leaves the room.
Oh, okay. Rebecca, Mark. When there's nobody in the room, he's not to be trusted.
Absolutely not.
Whatever makes you say that? He seemed like
No, Rebecca did. We do not trust him. He has all the money and all the resources available at his fingertips. He has no reason to trust three outsiders to do his dirty work or bidding. He's using us to figure out something that he doesn't want to get his fingertips dirty with.
This
He is
actually makes
not
sense.
he's not our ally. We are using him, Rebecca.
Oh, I don't like this.
No, but Rebecca, just breathe with you in through nose, out through mouth. He is hiding so much at this moment.
But we'll play along to see
We
if we
are
can
now- we're
reveal
not-
something.
We're allies, and we're bestest of friends, and we're gonna push that he needs. We need to trust him.
I wish you didn't tell me. I'm a terrible liar.
Rebecca, don't say anything.
Yeah, but now I'm going to be all weird around him.
Well,
Bex,
Mark,
you're
help
weird
me out.
already.
You're weird. You wear brown all the time. You're weird.
I'll get off from the sofa and I'll just walk over to the window. Can I walk towards the library? Just because I'm really curious.
Yeah, because I'm like, Rebecca, use your investigatory skills and look at the books, see if you can pick up something. Me and Mark will entertain Mr. Bishop. I don't trust that fellow.
Not
So,
as far as I can
58 at
throw in.
65. We're looking and peeking through the library door.
You can see, you get like just kind of catch a glimpse in there. There are quite a lot of books there, but you can clearly see that there's also a stair leading up to like the third
This
story
was
of
the spire, right?
Yeah, the spire, the third floor. And you can, as you're looking, and you can see that coming back down, there's a pair of feet.
I scurry over to the window.
Mark, you do agree with me? I'm whispering to Mark.
Well, you are making
I'll
so
try
much
to, like,
sense. I'm
wave
almost
to these people.
scared.
Look.
I'm like-
Bax is like,
Mark, I need you sharp as a thick, like a thing you put in the wall. Not thick, but like a tack. Right now, because this man and Rebecca's freaking out.
He's coming.
There's snakes in the grass, Mark.
I'm
Oh,
cool
alright.
as something cool
and the door
on a summer day.
Yeah.
Poor,
Back
she,
to the-
like, her
Alright.
awareness skills are so low.
I'm being cute as a button.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a copy of the bill of sale slip from when I purchased the book, and if that might be of any help as well. So, shall we help each other then?
Mr. Bishop, I think that would be in our both best interest, because I think we are at the pass that where if we didn't join forces, we would not find out what really happened, and you would not get your book, and we would not figure out what happened to our dear friends.
Well, excellent. You make a lot of good points. And
Thank you.
Come and
Thank
go.
and though you don't,
Come and go.
yeah, and if you, yeah, he's like, and even though I won't, we will be allied, and we will like refuse to accept any form of money. If you need any help with the expenses in any kind, do not hesitate to contact me. It's the very least I could do. I mean, as I said, our interests are aligned, but after all, they were working on my books. Any expenses incurred because of the investigation should clearly fall on me to cover.
Mr.
There will
Bishop,
maybe be some name dropping here and
As
there.
Mark said, there will be we will use your name when need be.
Suddenly, if you
In a
need to
joint-
open doors, use it. You actually just one moment, and he phones another pen and writes like to write something down. He hands it out to you, and it's like to assert the sale decision. I assert hereby that the carrier of this letter acts in accordance with my interests. Signed, George William Bishop, Esquire.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I actually, because I'm a famous author. I have business cards. A cup of drink. But that's not the phone number. It's like where you can telegram me. But I'm writing down that hotel. I'm like, I'm staying at this hotel.
Oh,
So.
excellent.
Oh, are we dealing with cards?
Rebecca, don't mind. We're good.
I have one here. I have one here, and it's like a little coffee spill probably on it, but it does say Devonport, Rare Books and Magazines, and the address from Boston.
Rebecca, cute. Right,
Puts it
Mr.
in
Bishop.
his vest pocket. Excellent. Well, gentlemen and ladies, I'm looking forward to a profitable friendship. Now, if you would need anything at all, don't hesitate to call. I'm generally always here at the manor. Miss Davenport?
Yes, I'm so sorry to disturb, but, well, since I'm into books as well, like yourself, and I do know that, especially rare books, they can be quite hard to get your hands on, and And I was wondering if maybe there was, I don't know, a lot of interest. I'm gathering there was a lot of interest for this specific book. Do you have, like, were you competing for it?
Actually, no, I was quite fortunate, really. The seller was looking was in need of money, and it sort of just fell into my lap. Somebody had slipped in my name, and he contacted me directly. Quite frankly, I was absolutely astonished by my good luck. And couldn't believe it. So I paid him a handsome sum and procured it without having to bid for it at all. Quite unusual. Normally, this would be sold at auction.
I mean, it might be sensitive material, but could we have his name, perhaps?
Yes, it should be it should be noted in the bill of sales, I believe. My lawyer took care of the details, so it should be, but it should be included in the copy of bill of sales, I believe.
But you don't. No one has approached you and wanting to buy it from you or anything of the sort. I'm just trying to find a different angle to this whole.
There was a woman who called. The man, I didn't speak to her directly, but she left a message, but I didn't bother calling back because I had absolutely no interest in selling the book. Alice, yeah, I believe her name was Alice.
Alice. You don't have a last name, I guess.
I don't remember it. I'm sorry.
Not written anything down. Yes.
Actually, just one moment. No, you mentioned it. Yes, her last name was Howe, Alice Howe. Oh, that's interesting. And I believe that's actually the gentleman who sold me the book was his last name was Howe, actually. You check. He gestures to the bill of sale. He full of the bill of sale. He handed to you, Matilda. And you open up and look, and sure enough, it says that paid the sum up, and you look at the sum and one one Thomas Howe.
Can you spell that?
One book, the Necronomicon, and then follows a short description of the book and injuries and stuff like that, and then it's signed by probably what is Mr. Bishop's lawyer and one Thomas Howe. Well, that's interesting.
One question: did you have these fellas' bill of expenses?
Yeah, it should all be in the folder.
Yeah, always in the folder.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
So you all have all the information that I have.
Yeah.
Or had.
This
you're having it, current possession of it. Well, I do wish you the best of luck, not least because it seems that my only hope of retrieving my book lies with you.
Well, Mr. Bishop's our interests are aligned, so we'll keep in touch.
Excellent.
Definitely.
He rings the bell and the butler comes in. Well, we didn't get to open the second bottle of champagne, but please do take it as a sign of gratitude.
Snag!
My glass is untouched.
Like a fucking hag
And
snagging hag.
Yeah, he nods and he exits the room the way he came.
My XP,
and,
my bottle of champagne.
Fuck you.
And the butler, he gestures for you to follow, and he escorts you back out the same way you came in.
A quick drive, because I think that the conversation is going to happen in the dining room.
Yeah,
I think so.
You drive quickly back to the hotel. It's no.
I go and change, because it's a fucking
Of course.
2020. I change.
We have been
I make
wearing the
Rebecca
same
change.
outfit
Rebecca!
for...
We're changing.
We have been wearing the same outfit for a whole day.
Yeah,
of course
yeah,
we're
yeah,
changing.
I probably have like one evening dress.
Yeah. You drive back. You notice that it's the Arkham streets do not appear that busy at evening. It's not that bustling, hustling feel you have in downtown Boston. Not at all. There are far fewer people out and about. And you go back to the hotel, and you all go to change and meet up at 7:00 in the restaurant.
I sit down with sparkling water and a cigarette at the table.
Yeah, you all order whatever you want, and there's excellent menus. So whatever your heart desire, you will find on the menu, except alcohol, of course.
Yeah.
So soda water for the lot.
I'll have the red fish, whatever the red fish is.
Yeah, red snapper.
What time of
Rebecca.
year is this?
Spring. May.
Spring.
Yeah, spring. It's May 5th, May 4th.
Okay, so
Hopefully May.
it's past lobster season, so I'll have the ribeye steak.
Rebecca,
So-
dear,
Yes.
how are you finding this? This is also one of your dearest friends.
I'll have what she's having.
She's having the red fish, of course.
He leaves, and yeah.
I mean, I'm not very good at this, but it is curious that the wife or maybe sister or related in some other way to this seller. I wonder what made him sell that book in the first place. It seems odd that he would.
Could be a money issue.
Could be.
I do not like that innocent people are being harmed when we have this prince in the castle that's the root of it all.
Well,
Why?
I think it's too soon to draw any conclusions. That's just my take on
Yeah,
it.
but I really, really, really don't like this. This fella is acting like the puppeteer.
And he's not liked, and he's too smooth, Rebecca. He's speaking with a velvet tongue.
Well,
And
he's
for
just a manly version of you, Matilda.
Rebecca, dear.
Matilda is very, very, very well liked.
Well,
Thank you, Mom.
I don't see why I didn't find anything wrong with him.
Why would he be so forthcoming when he has all these resources to somebody he does not know, Rebecca? In his private affairs.
But he did share everything with us.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. He might be
I
gauging what
am
we
not
know.
judging anyone until I have more facts. That's
No, but
just me.
let's now just compare
We-
two of your bestest friends, young Tilda and me. Young Tilda is what I might call a very smart woman.
Cookie.
She plays with her card close to her chest, keeping most of her information about herself to herself. In that way, she keeps her secrets about her upcoming books as close as possible. Me, on the other hand, being a man of absolutely nothing to hide, I can be about and be a complete
Dilettante.
Oh yes, thank you, Deb. And this guy has the opportunity. No, he has the money and the secrecy, and he should behave like Tilda, not like me.
And he's too offering.
Yeah, and I really don't know where I was going with this conclusion.
I'm still
Mark,
waiting for it.
Yeah, Mark.
So-
I'll grab the lead and say, his gift is poisoned. He's offering too much for expecting very little, and nobody does that.
Nobody.
Well, I don't see what value that gives us. I just think we should
Rebecca, dear, it's the fact that he is not. There's something that he doesn't know, that he doesn't want to put his foot in, and he wants us to do it.
Well, I was still wanting at least to figure this out. Regardless
Oh, we are.
of this.
We are. But we're gonna change it, Amen, because we're gonna use him.
How are we going to do that?
Yeah, how?
They use. Oh, I have a plan.
A cunning plan?
I have a plan.
Well,
You see, we have to make him show his cards. And the only way of doing that, and he's already told us what he really, really, really wants, not to quote a Spice Girls song, but he's already told us what he really, really, really wants.
Who are the Spice Girls? Is that jazz group?
we can,
Old Spice?
but we need him out of the house to push it. I have a plan.
That meal is excellent, and you'll retire back up to the suite for cocktails.
Cocktails a la nobody knows.
Cocktails
Well,
a
nice
la
punch
Mark.
wine and a bottle of half bottle of whiskey and a bottle of.
How much are you guys drinking today? Jesus Christ!
Well, me for I can only speak for myself,
She's not
but
asking.
No, 1920s girls. They don't get drunk. They just get.
I'm absolutely sloshed.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
So so Matilda has a plan, and you're poring over the information you got from Mr. Bishop. It appears that you have the bill of sale from one Thomas Ho for the book. You have some progress report about indeed the book seems to be real. It's it's details of the fact that the paper seems right, the printing technique seems right, the ink seems right, everything that seems all right. You find an expensive sheet, hiring 2 people who salary work.
Sorry, I can't hear anything because someone is doing something weird with their mic.
Who?
Yeah, I think it was you, Katrina.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
you find so he's got expensive sheet. The 2 salaries for a month work for one to sign out for one Franklin Blaine and from one Samuel H. Stewart. You find a receipt for 1 month rent of a room.
No.
That's 587.
What's the other name? Franklin Blaine.
Samuel H. Stewart and Franklin Blaine. A receipt for a room for 1 month's rent of a room at 587 West Pickman Street. You find actually a receipt for the books that you discovered that he bought Matilda. Those are included in there. Not the interpretation of dreams, though. Just the 2 first one, the Egyptian one and the Faulkner one. The interpretation of dreams receipt has not been subjected to be reimbursed for. There's also reimbursement for what is noted as a deposit for $200 for a book. It doesn't say the name of the book. For a book from the Arkham Historical Society.
All right.
And that's generally what's of interest you find, like that was written from the expense sheets and all the things that Mr. Bishop gave you.
I'm guessing you're sharing this with us?
Yeah, I think we all are. And I think this is like, we drink, we deduct, we do this because this is going to be the end of the night doing the things we need before we end off.
Mm.
Yeah. You go over all the evidence you have. It's getting late anyway. It's like it's probably after 9 o'clock now, and not much more you can do with the day.
Oh, 9. We're up to 11 doing this. This takes time because we're drinking and going back over the stuff and talking about the conspiracy or talking about damage or talking about making up shit. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing.
Yeah.
This is deep geekery and really, really deep.
And then we're gonna end off the first endeavor.
Yep. Well, that's maybe a good place for another little break, last break of the evening, perhaps.
Oh yes, indeed.
This is maybe great. So one little short break now, and we'll be back with the last scenes of the night's tale.
Bye.
Bye. And welcome back. Well, it's the morning after. You had what Rebecca feels was quite a late breakfast, and both Matilda and Marcus seems a little bit worse for wear after last night's or yesterday's rather wet day for being a prohibition style era. But
Oh,
no.
I missed champagne.
I've actually ordered 2 coffees to these 2 to get up to the hotel room.
And eggs
sweet.
Benedict.
And I'll actually
Well,
almost like go over to them and knock on their door and
Mm.
try to get the smell of coffee under the door, and then
You just have to coach them out and get them to sit down by the dining table here at in the suite where the breakfast is ready and put up strong black coffee.
I've ordered bacon, and I've ordered some bread and some sausages. I know it's quite different, but when in Rome, right? And
Sissy, dear,
it's good for
you're
you.
a doll.
I love you, Rebecca. Where's
Now
the coffee?
eat up.
The coffee.
Oh, it's right in front of you, dear.
I'm
But
dying.
so, today, we have a plan, right? You remember the plan?
What plan?
We talked about it yesterday. Oh,
You
last
had
night.
the plan, Tilda.
Well,
Did I?
we're going to the office. I think that's what. That was you, Matilda, who suggested it. So I think that's the first place we'll start.
Oh yes,
And
that place the three
Yes.
the three
Find any.
musketeers rented. Yes.
Yes.
Now
Tally
it's coming to
ho.
me.
After, can I get a Bloody Mary? No, I can't.
No.
Punch.
You can get tomato juice.
Ugh,
Should I run and get you some tomato juice?
I love you, Rebecca dear, but no,
No.
no.
But Bex, this means you're driving.
Yes, it is.
How far was it from the hotel? Can we walk?
It's not that far, but you would. It's like 3 blocks. What? About 3 blocks.
Fresh air will do you some good. So
Daggers out of the eyes. Daggers.
So after we've had breakfast and I'm guessing we're venturing out into the city, I'm trying to march them over to this place.
Yeah, well, it works okay. You all get out, walk down West College Street towards the west. On the right, you can see the beautiful college grounds. Like I said, immaculate lawns. To the left, there's more mix of residential buildings and office buildings. You turn left as you head down Southwest Street, then turn right into West Pickman Street. It doesn't take you that long before you're in front of 587 West Pickman Street. There's a little sign that says the Franklin Place, rooms for rent, no vacancies.
Do you think this? No, this is the last name, not a first name, right? Right?
Let me put your last name.
I knock on the door.
Too long before a gentleman in his mid-60s open. He's a bit rotund, a bit chubby, short, thinning hair, spectacles. I'm sorry, sir, but we have no vacancies, like the sign said. I am terribly sorry. You could hear another voice from in the room. There, who is it? There's some people asking for a room there, but I'm telling them that we are all full up.
Good sir. I am not here for room.
You're not?
No.
Oh.
I am working on behalf of Mr. Bishop.
Okay.
And his employees, 3 of them, with Mr. Miller, was it Mr. Henry Miller?
Oh yes, that's Henry Miller. And you see
Yes.
his wife, what is presumably his wife, who is probably like 5 or 6 years younger, comes in. She's just a bit short, a bit round, black hair that's starting to go grey, really, really friendly face. So I think, what is it, dear? Are they not looking for room? No, they're here, but Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, you have any news of him? And she asks, and she walks
Well,
over.
Unfortunately, he has befallen on some
Ill.
bad
Bad
times.
times. Bad times.
Yes,
Horrible to her.
but but Mr. Bishop is insisting that we continue the work.
Oh,
Mr.
of
Miller
course,
has
yes,
been
yes.
doing.
The rent room here. Do you remember that? Yes, very nice, and Mr. Miller, and then the other one, Mrs. Stewart. Yes, and of course, yes, of course, Mr. Franklin. Oh, yeah, Mr. Franklin. Oh, we did laugh about that name, sir. His first name being Franklin, or last name being Franklin. No relations, we'd say. Oh yes, such fine gentlemen, such fine gentlemen. Yes, yes. We haven't, like I said, we haven't seen them for a while. We were wondering. Hope everything was all right with them. Please follow me. Follow me this way. They've been very nice tenants doing important work there, sir, important research work, and I wanted to stay close to the college, is what I understood, sir. Uh, Perfect tenants, yeah, except for that one night. Yes, yes, that was one night when a bit of ruckus came from the room, but not heard anything since.
At what time was this ruckus in said room?
I believe it was a night of the 30th of April. Yes, yes, that is it.
And that is how long ago?
Today's 5th of May.
Okay, so a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this date fall in with the other robberies?
Henry Miller was picked up on night of the 2nd of May.
Okay.
When he was picked up, like in late, like just early morning time, night time. So yeah, this is a few days before that.
Okay.
Oh, well, here we are. And well, if you're working for Mr. Bishop, I guess that must be the man who hired them, Mr. Miller. And perhaps you should have a key. It's paid out for another 2 weeks in the room. So here it is, nice and secluded at the back of the building. I see. We also gave him a key for the back door, so he could come and go by the back entrance without disturbing any of the other lodgers. You see.
Oh, how considerate of you.
Have you asked them about the ruffians there? No, I haven't. You see, there's been some people prowling around the neighborhood. Well, we haven't seen them for about a week now, but in a couple of weeks, weeks after they rented the room, we did notice some strange people loitering about out in the street. Some clearly people who did not belong here in this neighborhood.
How did you see that these were people who did not belong in this
Oh,
neighborhood?
they're close. Clearly they're close. Plus, they only hang around mostly after dark. And, well, this here is generally a quiet area that time of
I
day.
can see that, and I can appreciate such an area.
I'm sorry, but what type of clothes are we talking about?
Oh, well, dark, ruffian work clothes, sort of like overall-looking kind of things. And also,
Yeah,
I did notice,
never trust people
you remember
wearing
I said,
overalls.
wearing a scarf in May. Who wears a scarf in May? It's clearly too warm for that at this time of year.
Canadians wear scarves in May, I guess.
Well, here you are, sir. And there's a key. And if you need anything, you can just call.
But of course. And here's a tip for you, good sir.
You didn't need to. Well, very kind, sir. And he walks with his wife back into the living room. Clearly, that they live on the first floor and rent out rooms for the rest of the building. Well, the door opens with from the key, and you slide open. It's a nice room, spacious. The bed has been pushed into one corner to make more room. You see 3 sort of study areas been set up here. 3 stools, 3 desks you can write on. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of paper about here. You see that the curtain of the window has been drawn shut. It is shut. You also notice that on the floor there's this hexagon drawn with Greek letters written. You Rebecca, easily recognize the Greek letters written at the sides of it, and also some candles have been blown out. One has been knocked over and so.
I want to roll an occult roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
24 out of 40.
It looks like some sort of ritual being carried out, or some sort of occult, almost gives you a sort of sense of like a summoning ritual or a sort of seance or something like that.
Oh. So
Sorry.
now this reminds me of a party at the McAllisters, but that was a pentagram and definitely not Greek.
What does the letter say?
Well, it's all Chinese to me.
It's just single letters, so it's just like the different. You don't really see any rhyme reason to it. Like the letter N, you see the letter Greek P, and you see the H. It's just and the more like it's like just random letters. You don't really understand why, and it does not give any sort of meaning to you immediately.
Can I do a spot hidden? I feel like I should.
Yeah, you can always put hidden to find more clues than the obvious sort of things.
I got 40 and I have 40.
Well, just made it then. And do you two other roll as well?
Yeah, I rolled a 49 from 65. So one success.
And Mark.
Spotted a 3.
Ooh. Right. Well, you all take like separate different corners of the room. You, Mark, concentrate on the occult symbol, that area over there, and you two are split up with the remaining desks and workplaces. Mark, you see that it looks like someone's short ladder has been broken, like someone has stepped on or something like that, and kicked the candle over and spilled the ink. You also see that the mirror in the like hanging on one wall, where it's like a small sink and sort of like a water basin and stuff like that. But that's cracked. It's like splintered, really.
In which way has the mirror been cracked? Because if you hit it with a blunt object, it will crack.
No, it looks more like it's been like someone hit it from behind. Like
it's exploded
outwards and not inwards. Not someone just punched it, but more like it's fractured out, like a force, like it's cracked on its own tensile or something like that.
Yeah.
You find the chalk that's been used. You find someone has knocked over the vase that's been standing on a nightstand. Knocked over the whole nightstand over, kind of like someone's been pushed or shoved or something like that. And that's pretty much what you can deduct from the occult part of the area there. You ladies, you find on one place, Rebecca, it's a book that's open with marking, like not markings, but with bookmarks started. It appears to be a fairly old book, about probably 100. You look at it. It doesn't no name on the outside. When you open it, it says Thaumaturgical Practices in the New England Canon. The slim black volume. There's no, like I said, no title on binding. It's in it's a sort of primitive form of American octavo. If you know, that's the size of the book. And clearly several pages of it has been bookmarked and like been put bookmarks in. There's notes along in the notebook lying by it as well. Like someone's been clearly studying it, finding passages, highlighting, and writing down what they found in it. And there's a lot of information in there. You, on the other hand, Matilda, you find another work area where you find reference books you recognize from the list that was bought from Jables Books. You find a lot of reference books for like 15, 16, and 17th century books. You find also a small black notebook. Looks handmade. When you open it, it says "Property of Henry J. Miller" on it. It's lying on the floor like it's been knocked off the table.
But we want that. We want that. I'll pick it up.
Mark, you also notice one more thing though when you look closer. Like it's look like sort of almost like some burn damage on the floor, where the chalk line had been broken on the drawing on the floor. It's all
Okay.
about.
So a burning
In-
in the chalk line, and that breakage of the chalk line, is that by any chance
That does
pointing
not look
towards
intentional. It looks like someone has scuffed it with a.
Yeah,
with a
but
feet.
does it point towards the mirror?
Yeah, it's in the direction of the mirror. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, you find also there's a lot of other notes here. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time to go through all the details. It might be best to just pack up what.
Pack up what we need. We pack up what we need. Yeah.
But there's no sign of the Necronomicon. No
Obviously.
no book and book that bears any resemblance to what has been described to you as.
Ladies,
Indeed.
I'm thinking there is something mysterious afoot here.
Obviously, it's a pentagram on the floor.
No, it's not a pentagram. It's a octagram, or what was it?
Yeah, there's not a pentagram. It's a hexagram.
Hexagram.
Hexagram. I'm just gonna
But
say
it is-
to put
it is-
that on the floor randomly is bizarre.
Yeah, but this is, in my experience, and I've been to quite a lot of seances the last 6 months.
Why does
This-
that not?
This is. Come again, dear sister.
Why does that not surprise me? Of course you have.
Yeah, of course. This it's in fashion. But this hexagram you see here, it's been broken. In this exact point here, and you see as it has been broken, a lot of energies has been released, and you see this burn mark here is a proof of that. And this to me looks like a summoning circle. Something has been summoned. Something from the dead, maybe. I don't know. Maybe this is the scuffle. And you see this breakage of the summoning circle points towards this mirror. And you see the breakage of this mirror
Mark, you're
has
talking
not been
about,
broken.
I'm all about the occult for fun and shits and giggles, but you're speaking about it like it's real.
Why shouldn't you?
But he has a point though. If can I find, like, I don't know, string or anything like that? Is there anything?
Yeah, you can find some string. I mean, they probably used it for pack.
Stand here, and are you by the mirror or by the circle?
Now I'm by the mirror and trying to point out that the mirror is broken from the inside.
Mark, hold this.
Yes.
And I give you the end of the string, and then I'll walk over to the burn mark. That is quite remarkable.
But Rebecca, are you buying that this is supernatural?
No, I'm not buying it, but I'm not. I just want us to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
We don't like I'm keeping an open mind about Mr. Bishop. I'm also keeping an open mind about this.
Because
I don't know. I don't have enough facts. So
there is
why
more
not say
between
what we have?
heaven and earth than most other places.
I mean, I don't believe in heaven and hell, so
Yeah.
what do I know?
I'm thinking we're jumping to some sort of a bizarre conclusion.
No, I'm just saying that there might be something hoodoo in this kerfuffle.
And I mean, we don't have to believe it, but the people who do this believe it.
I'm not gonna negate anything, but it's a stretch, Mark. Really.
No, it's a really small stretch if you look into the
I
evidence.
know you're part of the occult thing, but I am a historian and I'm science.
Well, does
I'm unsure.
science really prove or disprove the Bible, for example?
No,
And in the
Mark, I'm
Bible
just
is
saying,
one of the
I
most
think-
important occult books there is.
Rebecca, it's saying we just need to look at all points before we jump to
And
the
I point
devil
out
has
these
been
points.
worshipped.
But I don't think Mark says. Well, you know, But actually, when he has a point, he has a good point.
Okay, can we take what we can get with this place because it's creeping me out. I
Of
don't
course.
like how it looks. I
course.
don't like this. The couple downstairs are too fucking friendly. I do not like it.
Oh yeah,
Not
friendly
really.
people. They are. Oh, you can
They,
never trust them.
they're like
You two, I can't take you anywhere, can I?
like happy commoners. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, you pack up what all this seems relevant, all the notebook, all the books that you can find, gather all loose papers and stuff, pack it all up. You find some you actually find a.
I'll draw whatever's on the floor.
Yeah.
On whatever piece of paper I find.
You find a small brief, like a piece of luggage here with some shirts and some underwear and some toiletries in it. So you just dump that on.
No, I didn't see bathroom or the bedroom, so I don't know if this is from his place or not. Maybe one of the
It's the same clothes. It's a shaver. It's a toothpaste. It's a tooth. So it could be it. And then the number of shirts or something seems to be the same number missing from Miller's apartment. So it probably would be his. So you put that outside, put it on the bed, and you fill up the briefcase with luggage with the information, books and papers you have, and then you slap it shut, and you pretty much are ready to leave.
Next.
You just can leave, and they gave you the key to the place. You can just pretty much leave, come and go as you please.
Okay, I'm just saying, sir, that my mind, because now I'm done with the hungover. I need some of this information. I need either go to the Miskatonic University or I need a library. But I think the Miskatonic University is going to be a good guess to figure something else out.
I think so too.
You also have potentially the place, two places, like following up on Frank Blaine.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a split up again, I think.
Yeah.
So who wants to do what?
I think we need to think about that.
Yeah, probably. Maybe you can think about that until next time, and we can call it a night. We can make a strategy for who's going to go where.
Yeah, because I also want to look into Alice and Thomas Howe.
Yeah.
You can make some inquiries to find out who these people are.
Definitely. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
to be concluded.
Two-part a plea for help. Involved in some strange goings on in the city of Arkham. So stay tuned for next time.
Yeah. Please
Bye.
follow. Please like. Please
follow. Like. We
Yeah.
love it. Do it. Do the thing. Do it.
Excellent.
Until next time.
Bye.
Good night.